insult to injury. The Mavericks, Western Conference champions, as they knock off the Walleye in 6 games by an emphatic 7-1 final. It's the Mavericks who emerge victorious here in the Western Conference Finals, and they're heading to their first ever Kelly Cup final.
Live from inside Cable Dome Arena, Saturday night hockey in Kansas City as we bring in the month of June on this Kelly Cup Finals matchup between the Kansas City Mavericks and the Florida Everblades. Good evening and welcome alongside Sean Carrier. I'm Joe Benson. Thrilled you could join us again tonight. Sean, Game 1 didn't go quite as planned for the Mavericks as they fell by a score of 8-1 last night to the Everblades. But we know it's a long series, and the Mavericks have been one of the most resilient groups all year long.
Yeah, definitely not what we were hoping to see when the final buzzer went off in terms of the scoreboard, but one thing that made this Mavericks team so successful in the regular season was their resiliency. They only lost 2 games in a row just 3 times throughout this entire season. They'll be looking to get back into the win column tonight with a much improved effort in Game 2.
The Mavericks certainly weren't without chances. 35 shots on goal in the game, perhaps some of those better opportunities coming in that third period. And we'll see if they can do more of that here tonight.
Yeah, they did get a great number of chances. Going down the stretch throughout this game, we're only barely outshot by the Everblades. A number of nice opportunities that just weren't falling for him. Cam Johnson, the netminder for the Everblades, had a really strong game. He'll be the riddle that the Mavericks will be looking to solve here in Game 2.
We saw some chippiness in the game, as to be expected. 30 combined penalty minutes between the two teams. Sean, is that chippiness and physicality something the Mavericks can use to their advantage here in this series?
It's definitely something you can use to your advantage as long as you're doing it responsibly. You want to continue to stick up for yourselves and your teammates, but you don't want to be the guy to find out the hard way where the referees are drawing the line. Continue to battle, continue to play with that physical edge, but don't cost your team any penalty minutes tonight.
One thing that was apparent about Florida last night was their speed. It didn't take long to find out why this team has the resume they have. What do the Mavericks need to do to slow these guys down and tie the series up here tonight?
I think a great defense tonight might just be a better offense than what we saw last night out of the Mavericks. The Everblades were able to just really get out of their zone pretty easily. They were making a number of nice passes on the breakout. If the Mavericks can do a better job jumping into those passing lanes, sustaining a nice forecheck, that's obviously going to limit what the Everblades are able to do offensively.
Up next, let's take a look at the lineups for tonight. And we'll start first with the Kansas City Mavericks. And Sean, a couple changes here for KC. Bradley Schoonberg is going to slide in on that fourth line in place of Nolan Sullivan. David Noel slides in on the back end in place of Justin McPherson. But let's start with that top line. David Cotton, he's been a physical presence all postseason. He's got 12 points in the postseason, third on the Mavericks in that category. Look for him to have an impact here in this series.
Yeah, you nailed it. He has established that nice physical presence for this Mavericks forward group. He's going to need to have a big night right in front of Cam Johnson, just making his life more difficult than what we saw in Game 1. Him with his 2 line mates and Jake Jaremko and Cole Cossey, they're going to need to be difference makers in this game too.
We talked a little bit about Jeremy McKenna last night. He had the lone goal in the game. He's now got 4 goals in his last 2 games, 18 points in the postseason. This guy just continues to be a difference maker.
Yeah, he's phenomenal in finding the back of the net lately. His line is going to need to have a successful rest of the run in the postseason for the Mavericks to really be successful. Him, Jacob Ayers, Max Andreev, they'll all be looking to fill the net once again here today.
And then on the back end for the Mavericks, how about Nate Konecki? He had the lone assist on McKenna's goal last night. He was only on the ice for 1 goal against, and this guy just continues to make great strides in his second season with Kansas City.
Yeah, he's doing an absolute phenomenal job on both ends of the ice so far in this postseason run. He does a great job of taking care of the back end and has really done well in picking and choosing his spots to jump in offensively. He's playing with Ryan Jones, who's one heck of a D pair. You're just hoping those 2 guys have more success here in Game 2.
Up next, let's take a look at the lineup for the visiting Florida Everblades. And Sean, one of the guys we highlighted last night, Bobo Carpenter. He had 2 goals and an assist in Game 1 last night. One thing we learned about him, this guy can flat out shoot.
Yeah, he's got an incredible release in the offensive zone. The Mavericks defense has really got to make it a point of emphasis to cut down any sort of opportunity that he may be giving. We saw him ring one off the back bar last night that had to go to review. It was that close. He's got that lethal shot. The Mavericks need to stop him in this game.
The Everblades also got some contributions on the back end. Reese Smolek had a couple goals in the game last night. And Sean, the Everblades certainly like to activate their defensemen as part of their attack plan.
Yeah, they're attacking as a 5-man unit going into the zone, and the Mavericks just need to do a good job matching with everyone. Everybody's got their guy. You got to stick on him like glue. We saw Smolek absolutely release a slap shot from the low point that beat Cale Morris up high. You have to respect his shot. He can release it from anywhere and find the back of the net. That's got to be a point to cut down as well here for the Mavericks.
LaFontaine has to hustle back to the crease, into the slot, a shot, and now a kick marked out in front. Wilms centering pass, and a big glove save on Grezik by LaFontaine. More force behind the net by Calvis, out in front, pad save LaFontaine, and he stopped the fall. Drops it off, Doucette, left side, Gilmore's shot save LaFontaine, rebound loose. And the Orange Army is rocking and ready to go here in Game 2 of the Kelly Cup Finals. You just heard a little bit about Jack LaFontaine. He'll get the start in net tonight for the Mavericks. He made 31 stops in his last start in Game 6 this past Monday against Toledo to close out the Walleye in the Western Conference Finals. The Ontario native is 6-1 in the postseason with a 1.69 goals against and a .954 save percentage. It'll be Cam Johnson down at the other end to our right for Florida. He stopped 34-35 last night in Game 1. The Michigan native is 13-6 in the playoffs with a 1.76 goals against and a .939 save percentage. Logan Gruel and Austin O'Rourke are your referees tonight. Christopher Williams and David Rosaitis are your linesmen. The Mavericks will be starting with the Nolan Walker, Patrick Curry, Cade Borchard line up front with Nate Konepke and Ryan Jones on the blue line. Florida, the same starters from last night. Jesse Lansdale, Mark Senden, Boban Carpenter up front. Reese Smolek and Cole Moberg on the back end. Game 2 is underway. Sit back and enjoy this one. A crucial game here for the Mavericks in Game 2 with the series shifting to Florida for Game 3 on Wednesday. And the physicality continuing here early in the first period, right where we left off last night. And on icing here on the Mavericks, 17 seconds into period number 1.
Joe, you just talked about him. Cam Johnson, Jack LaFontaine. They're going to be goaltenders to beat here tonight. Both of these guys playing phenomenal in this postseason run for each team. Absolutely the game within the game right now. Which one of them is going to break first?
We talked to Tad O'Had earlier today. He said having a short memory has been this team's greatest asset all year long, and he expects a solid response from this Mavericks team here tonight. It's all about turning the page and just focusing on what's at hand. And a crucial opportunity here for the Mavericks in Game 2. Here's a shot. That one skittered wide, coming off the stick of Wedman. Golf back out to center ice by Marc-Olivier Duquette. Quick re-entry here for the Everblades. Ewan's a shot, ricochets to the far corner. Hacked at there by Ryan Jones. Ho-Sang looking to go to work. Now to Wedman in the slot, and he put it just wide. McKenna to the line, but not out. Here's Ewans looking, shot blocked down in front by Marc-Olivier Duquette. Everblades looking to sustain pressure here in the offensive zone, and McKenna able to scrape it back to the safety of center. Good pressure from Hayhurst on a steal. Hayhurst looking, a shot, save Johnson, and he'll cover the rebound for the face-off. Just over a minute gone here in the opening frame.
In that shift alone, there were 3 shot blocks inside the defensive zone there for the Mavericks. Defensive intensity, it's what has gotten them to this point in the postseason. They've been so good getting in their shooting lanes, breaking up scoring chances. They have to continue to sustain that level of defense all 60 minutes of this game.
Face off to the glove side of Cam Johnson, the Jake Tremko, David Cotton, Cole Koski line out there. Theo Calvis and David Noel on the blue line. David Noel coming in place of Justin McPherson here on the back end tonight for the Mavericks. Cole Koski supporting Jake Jaremko in the corner. Chased down now by Zach Berzola. He'll wheel his way out towards center ice. Lead pass, Oliver Chow cruising in, threw it in front, and a save LaFontaine as he stopped Pendenza in tight. Backpedaling Berzola, a shot, and he scores. Zach Berzola from the point through traffic, able to beat Jack LaFontaine. And it's the Everblades who strike first once again tonight, 90 seconds into period number 1.
A lot of traffic out in front of Jack LaFontaine. He just wasn't able to get a clean look at this shooting attempt as it came in on him. Once again, this will be the response game for the Mavericks. We don't want to see things get out of hand, much like we saw in Game 1 last night. Max Andreev out there with Bradley Schoombert and Justin Nockbar. Can they do a nice job of setting the tone here early?
Mavericks 5-3 in the postseason when allowing the first goal. And like Tato had mentioned earlier today, all about having a short memory as the Mavericks are forced to play from behind once again early in this first period, but still plenty of time to go. Hard cross-ice pass there from Moberg. And it knuckles back into the KC zone, and Marc-Olivier Duquette catches a high stick from Landon. And the Mavericks are going to head to the power play here. Just 13 seconds after Florida scores the goal to go up 1-0. Marc-Olivier Duquette catching a high stick there.
And no better chance to find that evening goal than when you go on the power play. I think we might be seeing a double minor here to Lambden as well, as Marc-Olivier Duquette goes straight off the ice. Head trainer Nick Potter's making his way towards the tunnel. He'll be giving him some attention, and it is a double minor, so 4 minutes of power play time, much like what we saw go against the Mavericks in Game 1 last night. They'll be the beneficiaries of this call, and hopefully we'll find that equalizing goal.
We saw a great response from the Mavericks last night. Jeremy McKenna able to deflect a shot from Nate Konepke. And a 4-minute power play, like you mentioned, Sean. It's brought to you by Independence Utilities. And a huge opportunity here for the Mavericks to find the equalizer, as it's Logan Lambden in the box for a double minor for high sticking. Mavericks coming in at 14.9% on the power play in the playoffs. The Everblades ranked 5th on the PK at 88%, and this one's cranked right down the ice by Florida. Almost 30 seconds gone here in the Mavericks' first power play of the night. Just past 2 minutes played here in the opening period. Zach Berzola's first of the playoffs at the minute 30 mark has the Everblades on the board. Here's Cade Borchard. He'll glide in on right wing. Floats it in behind the Florida net, gunned up the far side by Sambrook, gnawed out. McKenna's pass intended for Koski out of his reach. And back down to the KC end. Cole Koski, who's got 11 points in the playoffs, had a big series against Toledo in the Western Conference Finals, scored a game-winning goal in overtime in Game 4 in front of an absolutely packed house here last Friday. Good crowd here once again tonight in Game 2 of this Kelly Cup Finals matchup. Here's Nolan Walker on the move through center ice. Hands it off for David Cotton. Cotton down the far boards. Pitchfork to the line. Gnawed out. Good keep by Jones. On across now for Andreev, who's been a point per game here in the postseason. Down low to Cotton. Now Jaremko far corner. Back down low to Cotton. They'll wrap it up the near side. Here's Andreev. Bumps it back to the right point. Ryan Jones hands it off. Walker cruising in. A shot caught the glass, and it caroms all the way back out to center. 2:20 to go here on the Mavericks power play. 16.5 to go in the first period. Florida with a 1-0 lead here in Game 2. Joe Benson, Sean Carrier with you here as always. Here's Cade Borchard. He'll hand it off to Hayhurst to the attacking line. Andreev walks it down to the corner. Sweeps it around to the far side, and it's gunned up the far glass and all the way down. LaFontaine will come out to play it. Jack LaFontaine, who's allowed just 4 goals in his last 3 starts, looking to pick up his 7th win of the playoffs. Here's Cade Borchard weaving in. He was tripped down, but we play on. Here's Cole Koski drifting down low. He'll fling it to the far corner. McKenna, he'll stash it back behind the net. Here's Hayhurst on his backhand. Back for McKenna. Looking to jar it free. Borchard, he'll send it across. Curry with room. A shot. A save made by the arm there, Cam Johnson. And it's cleared all the way down the ice.
That was the best opportunity for this power play so far. Anytime you can get Patrick Curry with a clean look with the goaltender like that, you're going to find some success and at least get a scoring chance out of it. Cam Johnson just makes a nice save.
Here's Hayhurst weaving back into the zone. McKenna rink wide, and it knuckles out. Curry will have to reload. Patrick Curry in his second Kelly Cup appearance of his career. Made it with Toledo 2 years ago. And a cross-ice pass from Hayhurst intended for Curry. Caroms all the way down the ice. Under a minute to go now in the Mavericks power play. Almost 5 minutes gone in the first period here in Game 2. Mavericks trailing the Everblades 1-0. Shots are 3-2 for Florida to this point. Here's David Cotton, stopped in his tracks there. Lost his helmet on the play after he was bumped by Lansdale. Jaremko, rink wide feed. Here's Andreev. He'll gun it through both corners. Jaremko along the far side. Picked up now by Lansdale, and he'll scoop it out to center ice. 25 to go here on the Mavericks power play. Logan Lambden standing in the Florida penalty box, set to come out. Here's Ryan Jones lumbering through center. Jones rolls it towards the crease, steered away there by Johnson. Picked up now by Moberg, who had a goal last night. He'll launch it all the way down the ice, and that'll just about do it here for the Mavericks power play. Jack LaFontaine handing it off for Bradley Schoombert, who gets his first touch in the game here. His first appearance since Game 5 against Toledo in the Western Conference Finals. Tato Hat expects a shot in the arm from both him and Noel, inserting into the lineup here tonight. Here's Lambden cruising down the left wing, put it on, save LaFontaine, loose puck. Hosang to the far corner, a tight turn. He'll wheel back behind the net, lost a handle, and out speared up the near side by McLaughlin. Schoombert had his pass cut there by Wedman, dealt it back in deep. Hit the stick there, Jack LaFontaine, but he gets it back to him thanks to the work there from Jake McLaughlin. Approaching 13.5 to go here in the first period. Here's Will Riley at center ice. Forced back inside his own line by Justin Nockbar. Nockbar had some good hits of the game last night. This one deflects out of play into the Mavericks bench.
Not a lot going for the Mavericks on that power play. One nice opportunity. We'll see if they can sustain some more pressure at 5-on-5 when we come back right after this.
Where are you this time?
I'm a little off the green.
Okay, here's what you're gonna do.
At Big O Tires, we do things differently for a lot of reasons. And one is to get you the best deal possible. Handling the cost of car repairs can be a challenge, but we're here to help. Our no credit needed financing or 0% interest also come with exclusive benefits, so you can get back on the road. Financing, it's one more reason. Big O is the team you trust.
The next Mavericks home game would be Game 6 on June 10th, Mavs Country. Be sure to visit Ticketmaster or call 816-252-7825 to reserve your tickets. Do not miss a minute of the Mavericks push for the Kelly Cup. We talked to Tato Hat, like we mentioned earlier today. We'll hear from him more during the first intermission. Wanted to see the Mavericks put some more pressure and make Cam Johnson's life down in the Florida crease a little bit more difficult here tonight. Felt they didn't have nearly enough high-danger chances in the game last night. Shots are 4-2 to this point in the game in favor of the Everblades. Just under 13.5 to go here in this first period. Patrick Curry, he'll fling it in behind the net and give chase. A good hit there and deep on Will Riley, who's sent to the ice. Walker tried to filter it out in front. Curry lost a handle. Now Josh Hosang is out through center ice. He'll go to work, pulls up in the high slot, hands it off Riley, back to in front, tipped on goal and a save made. LaFontaine on Skirving on the doorstep. Konepke fanned on the initial outlet pass, able to get it to Borchard, now far wing. Cross ice, Jones couldn't get there before jostling. And now Nate Konepke up the near side. Patrick Curry, tape to tape for Cade Borchard. Nice little razzle-dazzle step past Oliver Chow, who had 2 goals and an assist last night. He was the first star in the game. Here's Jack LaFontaine, steers up the far glass. Hayhurst had his pass knocked down, but now Max Andreev darting through center ice. Andreev into the corner against Berzola. Sweeps it around to the far corner. Here's Jeremy McKenna through to Hayhurst. Hayhurst walking in, a shot fought off by Johnson. Loose puck behind the net, scooped up by Andreev. Now McKenna far corner, up to Noel, a blast off the goal post. What a howitzer there from David Noel. He catches the post on the glove hand side of Cam Johnson. And an icing here on the Everblades.
We talk about the shot in the arm that we were hoping to see out of David Noel. And just look at the shot there, go right off the post. He comes inches from tying this game.
Headquartered in Kansas City, Lockton is a proud pillar partner of the KC Mavericks. Lockton is the world's largest independent insurance brokerage, providing customized solutions to meet your company's insurance, risk management, and employee benefits needs. Lockton is dedicated to serving their clients, associates, and communities. 12:01 to go here in the first period. What a chance there. David Noel showcasing that heavy shot we've heard the coaching staff talk about ever since they acquired him out of the University of Quebec, Trois-Rivières. Here's McLaughlin, a shot right on. Easy glove save made by Cam Johnson. 11:55 to go here in the first period. And Sean, David Noel is a guy who brings to this team some playoff experience of his own. Made it all the way to the U Sports Championship back in his collegiate days a few months back.
Yeah, he's an incredibly experienced hockey player despite how young his pro career might be. And you see the full arsenal on display there, what he can provide offensively, ringing that one off the post. And hopefully we'll see that heavy back checking defensive style that we saw out of him towards the end of the regular season and when he has jumped into this lineup in the postseason as well.
False start on the draw here as David Cotton will lean in to take it. David Cotton, who played 7 games for Florida earlier this year before being acquired. Here's another penalty upcoming to the Everblades as taken down there in the crease was Cole Koski, and so the Mavericks are going to be heading back to the power play.
Yeah, it looked like Zamolik right off of this face-off draw. Cole Koski was able to get almost a clean run in towards Cam Johnson with the puck on his stick. Zamolik tries to get a piece of him, ends up taking out the legs, and it'll be another power play opportunity here for the Mavericks in this first period.
That's just a good hard net drive there, Sean, from Cole Koski to draw the call, and so the Mavericks, they've been able to string together some good shifts here after the opening goal from Florida. Back on the Independence Utilities power play here with 11:50 to go in the first period, and the Everblades will clear it all the way down the ice. Reese Smolek in the box for tripping. Smolek, who had a pair of goals for Florida last night. Here's Nolan Walker off to David Cotton. Jeremko bumps it back for Ryan Jones, a wrister. That one caught the glass. Held in now by Andreev. Andreev behind the net. Rotated back up towards the right point. Ryan Jones hands it off for Walker. Now Andreev bumps it back up top for Jones. Deals for Max Andreev. Looking out in front. Tipped just wide by David Cotton. And a great keep in there by the right skate. Momentarily at least by Ryan Jones. And it came out, so now they say offside on the Mavericks.
Yeah, some really nice opportunities. Ryan Jones, we've seen him score from the point, beating a goaltender clean this year. If you can get some traffic in front of Cam Johnson, he absolutely has the strength and the power on his shot to get that in the back of the net from the point as the quarterback on this unit. And then David Cotton is just setting up shop right in front of the net right now. That's the exact type of net front presence we're all hoping to see out of him here tonight.
Minute 10 to go here on the Mavericks power play. Their second of the game. 11 minutes to go in the first period. Mavericks trailing the Everblades 1-0 here in game 2. David Cotton giving chase, shielded there by Jordan Sambrook. It is cleared all the way down the ice. Cotton was traded to the Mavericks in exchange for the rights for Jordan Sambrook, which were still in Mavericks possession earlier this year. Played for them last year, 70 games during the regular season and all 6 games in the playoffs before the Mavericks were eliminated by the Allen Americans. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Hayers had his pass cut, and it's cranked all the way down the ice. LaFontaine will paddle it off to the corner. Here's Cole Koski. 10:20 to go here in the first period. Kate Borchard on the move through center ice. Rifles it into the far corner. Hayers took a bump there from Moberg. Kept in. Koski rotates it far side. McKenna opens up. Elevates it across. Cole Koski now at the right point. He'll play it down low to Curry. Fan on the shot. Borchard now behind the net. Borchard now to McKenna. Walks in, a shot blocked away. Comes right to Cole Koski. Shadowed there by Lansdell. McKenna down low. Borchard back for McKenna. Shot. Score! 5 goals in his last 3 games for Jeremy McKenna at the tail end of the power play, and the Mavericks tie the game at 1.
Well, the hot hand continues. It's not the most dangerous shooting angle, but it is when you're Jeremy McKenna. Cam Johnson is flush with the goal line, trying to cover off that near side post, and it looks like it just trickles through the left armpit and works its way towards the back of the net. A fantastic job on the power play to create these chances, and Jeremy McKenna strikes again.
A Shinova Solar power play goal. Jeremy McKenna with the answer in the first period in consecutive games here for the Mavericks. A crucial goal as the Mavericks tie the game at 1. Close quarters, play back out in front. Schoombert had it rolled towards Johnson. He'll cover it. And the Mavericks with some more pressure here, Sean.
The Mavericks, they find that equalizer once again. It's up to them to keep the pressure up here. We all know what happened in last night's game. On the other side of this media timeout, we'll see if the Mavericks can finally jump out into a lead of this Kelly Cup final. We'll be right back.
.9:35 to go here in the first period. Jeremy McKenna with his 10th of the playoffs at 10:09 on the power play from Cade Borchard and Cole Koski. Has the Mavericks on the board. We got ourselves a 1-1 hockey game. Shots are 5 apiece. Just past the halfway point here of the first period. Jeremy McKenna continuing to light it up for the Mavericks. Now leading the entire ECHL in the playoffs, 19 points. Here's Wedman. He'll chug through center ice, chased down by Knockbar, out wide to Hosang. Offside here on Florida. 9:25 to go here in the first period. That was the 8th power play goal of the playoffs for the Mavericks, and their 4th here at home. After they went 0 for 5 last night, they break through there at the tail end of the power play. We'll see if they continue the momentum here. Looking for their first lead of the series and down 1-0 in the series. A crucial game, obviously, tonight. With the series shifting to Florida for game 3, 4, and 5 this coming week. Here's Walker. A steal now. Curry a backhander right on. Save Johnson. After some great pressure there from Nolan Walker. Wedman down the slot. Broken up there by Nate Konepke and Ryan Jones, and a good Maverick sandwich. Here's Curry now cruising back up ice. And he'll ladle it back in, tail into his shift as the Mavericks issue a wholesale line change. Approaching 8.5 to go here in the first period. Ewens will roll it back behind the Maverick net. LaFontaine out to play it. Here's David Noel. Nice pass to find Jacob Hayhurst. Calvis unable to clear. Taken away by Lansdell. Pulls up. Lansdell looking. Delays. Still with it. Now roughed up by Theo Calvis in the near corner. They'll rotate it around to the far point. Moberg pressured there by Hayhurst. Drills it down low. Centering pass. And a great save. LaFontaine on Mark Senden out in front.
Well, there he is. We were hoping to see him flash the leather at some point in this game when called upon to do so. And no better chance here than the release from the slot. He gets out just enough to challenge this. What a phenomenal save by Jack LaFontaine.
LaFontaine absolutely phenomenal. A 10-bell save there. Coming off that 31 save performance on Monday in Game 6 against Toledo. He stopped 106 of the 109 shots he faced in that series against the Walleye in 3 appearances. Made a brief appearance last night, came in during the third period. coming on in relief for Cale Morris. And now Pendenza, he'll angle it back in behind LaFontaine's net, comes out to play it. Hands it off for Jake McLaughlin, flips it ahead. Here's David Cotton on the money now for Kolakowski, right wing. He'll bounce it in behind the net. David Cotton, Jake McLaughlin giving chase, now centering pass. Koski had his stick tied up, and it rolls back down towards LaFontaine's crease. 7:40 to go here in the first frame. Mavericks and Everblades tied at 1 here in game 2. Sean Carrier, Joe Benson with you here as always. Thrilled you could be with us here tonight. Ewens relays up the far side, wedged back out to center ice there by Ben Brar. Here's Bradley Schoombert. Slides it down into the right corner. Max Andreev giving chase. Wrapping up there with Riley, and a big hit there by Justin Nockbar in deep. Ryan Jones pinching in to keep it alive in the corner. Andreev and Nockbar continue to unload there in the corner on a couple Everblades. This was lofted back in by Riley. Brar might have a step, a backhander. That one just wide past that near post. Schoombert able to wedge it to center ice. Andreev took a hit there to make a play, and it's sent back in by Zmolik. The physicality here evident in game 2. A trend I think we'll certainly see throughout the remainder of this series, icing here on the Mavericks.
Yeah, you can see Justin Nockbar really going to work. He's that big body. He's the guy you ask to go out there and make that physical presence known, try to wear down these Florida defensemen as much as he can in terms of body checks in the offensive zone. He did a phenomenal job of it on that shift, but Florida, they can dish it out too. You saw Max Andreev get knocked over right at the red line there, so that's a storyline to follow for the rest of this series, absolutely.
Tremendous crowd on hand here tonight inside Cable Dahmer Arena in Game 2 of this Kelly Cup final matchup. Here's Josh Hosang at center ice, who was signed by Florida in March. Turns it over. Here's Curry back in with Borchard and Walker. Borchard couldn't find a handle, and now Hosang goes back to work across center ice 2-on-2. Stops up in the high slot. Hosang, button hooks there now along the far boards. It'll step past Walker momentarily, and now Calvis taps it up for Patrick Curry. Into the slot. Curry delays, hands it off. Borchard, shot, tipped down in front. Loose puck. Calvis couldn't locate it, and now they're going to call Calvis for a penalty. Hosang at center, and a whistle blown. The Everblades not happy. They thought they still had possession on the delayed call. The Mavericks potentially catch a break there, but they're going to be heading to the PK.
Yeah, it did really look like the Everblades had possession of this puck when the whistle went off. You can understand some of the frustration from Hosang, but the Mavericks penalty kill will be put up to the test once again in this game. They've been doing phenomenal really all postseason long, hovering over 90%. That's really a number that you can be satisfied with, but nonetheless a very important kill. You worked really hard to get yourself into this tie game position. You really don't want to risk falling behind once again in this game too.
Mavericks were a perfect 2 for 2 on the penalty kill last night. And heading to the Gray Chiropractic penalty kill here. 6:04 to go in the first period. Mavericks are 41 for 44 on the PK in the playoffs. Killed off a double minor last night, and they get a quick clear here thanks to Marc-Olivier Duquette. Florida comes in ranked 13th on the power play at 12.5%. They've struggled on the power play on the road here in the postseason. Hosang twisting and turning. Gets it down low. Jocelyn cross ice. Riley backs it up. Hosang in the high slot. Tips for Jocelyn. Cross seam pass again. Errant point, and it's sent all the way down by Kolakowski.
A really nice job. It was right on the verge of over pursuing by this Mavericks penalty kill group, but did just enough to disrupt some of these passes that the Everblades are trying to make.
Everblades just 1 for 23 on the power play on the road here in the postseason. Here's Bobo Carpenter. They'll tap it there for Pendenza. Pulls up. Pendenza low to high. Riley drills one, and a big block there from Patrick Curry. Mavericks had 13 block shots in the game last night. Pendenza down to the goal line, and Chow put it right through the blue paint. And it comes all the way back to center. 50 seconds to go on the Mavericks PK. Inside 5 minutes to play here in the first period. Score tied at 1 in game 2. Here's Joe Pendenza, Florida captain, UMass Lowell product. Out wide now for Wedman. He's hauled down by Ryan Jones. who led the Mavericks in ice time last night. No surprise. Here's Jacob Hayers. Could be a 2-on-1 if he hurries with Andreev. Hayers looking on the curl and drag, but knifed away there by Moberg. Play back out to center ice. Here's sending a shot. Save LaFontaine. Rebound loose. McLaughlin tripped down to the ice. No call coming. Back to Moberg. Moberg a shot. Save LaFontaine with the left pad. And now McLaughlin side up behind the net. Mavericks about to get back to even strength here in 6 seconds. It's launched all the way down the ice by Andreev.
Really nice kill here for the Mavericks when they had to. Jack LaFontaine comes up with the save, and you can hear the Orange Army voicing their approval off the penalty kill.
Listen to this crowd as Theo Calvis glides back to the bench. Mavericks back to even strength with 3:50 to go here in the first period. Here's Ryan Jones now behind his own net. Jones up the far side. Let's go Mavericks, the chant here inside Cable Dahmer. An electric atmosphere here tonight. This one's drilled off the near glass, back out to center ice. Picked off at the logo. Berzola coughs it up. McKenna back in. McKenna backhander. That one blocked away. And now Brar will peel back through center ice for Florida. Brar down the right wing side. Skirvin giving chase. He's hammered there by David Noel. Here's Brar in the corner. Defended there effectively by McKenna. Loose puck to Noel. Turn it over. Chow back to the line. Ewens rotates for Chow. Nearly had it stripped. Chow walks in. A shot blocked in front there. Here's Chow back up with it near side. Swings it back down low. Calvis defending against Skirving. Chow picks it up. It'll slip past Jaremko. Chow back to the blue line. Berzola looking. Cross ice pass for Ewens. Back for Berzola. Fires. Save LaFontaine. It's available. And a big save again, and the whistle blown after Carpenter had a couple whacks at it. Jack LaFontaine, acrobatic in the crease, able to keep this a 1-1 hockey game.
Phenomenal job by LaFontaine to make those first saves. A great job by the Mavericks defense to try to clear out some of these rebound opportunities. Got a little dicey, but still some nice work. 2:43 remaining in the first. We'll be back after this.
There's no shortage of support when you need it. We celebrate unique milestones. We forge special bonds and encourage each other. We're always ready to jump in and help and let people know how much we appreciate them.
It takes someone special to be a nurse. If this sounds like you, join us
by visiting showupfornurses.com.
Welcome back. Latter stages, first period. Mavericks and Everblades tied at 1 here in Game 2. Jeremy McKenna with the goal here tonight for the Mavericks. Zach Berzola for the Everblades. McKenna's goal coming on a power play, and Jack LaFontaine. Absolute stellar work here down at our end. Here's a shot blocked up over the net. Wrestled to the ice there by Duquette was Oliver Chow. Jaremko, good pressure to force it back to center ice off the stick of Sean Jostling. Jostling from his own blue line, who leads all ECHL forwards in the playoffs in penalty minutes. And then he took a hack at Marc-Olivier Duquette and broke his stick on the back of Duquette in the process. Florida has it back inside their own end. Riley now will pass on the money for Oliver Chow. He's been all over the ice here in this first period. Chow sent just wide here from the point as LaFontaine was screened in front. Into the corner now, Moberg centering pass right under the stick of Patrick Curry. Flubbed the outlet pass, gets it back. And he's now able to chop it out to center ice back to the Florida line with a minute 45 to go here in the first period. Mavericks and Everblades tied at 1. Sandbrook on the money here for Lambden. He'll play it to the far corner. Jones locks up there along with Wedman. Two-side jostle here in the far corner of the Mavericks end. Wedman, diagonal feed. He finds Molek. Smolik drifting down to the near corner. Rolls it in deeper. Wedman trying to fend off Nolan Walker. Poke free now by Ryan Jones. Deals it up the near side. Cade Borchard angles it for Patrick Curry. He'll move back up ice 1 against 3. Curry trying to split the defense, and he's hauled down, and a penalty here. What an effort there from Patrick Curry. He draws the call. It's going to be interference. And the Mavericks will be heading to their 3rd power play of the period.
Well, you see the impact that Patrick Curry can have when he just goes 1-on-2 with 2 of the Everblade defenders. He's able to almost split them. And Sandbrook, this is actually a pretty good penalty for him to take, because if he doesn't stop Patrick Curry, it's going to be a clean run on Cam Johnson for the Mavericks' leading point getter from the regular season. So honestly, a good penalty to take by the Everblades, but a phenomenal job by Patrick Curry to go out there, create that scoring chance, and draw that call.
That's going to be Jordan Sandbrook in the sin bin for interference with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Mavericks 1 for 2 on the power play, a chance to take the lead here. If they're not able to score, they'll have some carryover power play time to begin the 2nd period. It'll be the 5 forward unit out there starting on this power play. Patrick Curry comes in to take it. He'll win it cleanly. Here's Kolakowski straight away. Rotates for McKenna. Now to Curry, a one-timer blocked to the corner. McKenna works it free. Here's Cade Borchard shoved down to the ice there by Ewens. Picked up now to Curry. Floats it for Hayhurst. Hayhurst had it knocked away there by Sendin. Wrapped up the near side. Here's Patrick Curry at the right dot. Knifing in. He put it wide out the far side. Here's McKenna back up with it. McKenna pressure there by Sendin. McKenna, a tight turn to the boards. Down low. Hayhurst out in front. Picked off and cleared by Moberg with 30 seconds to go in the period. 1 minute 25 to go on the Mavericks power play. Had it set up there for the moment. Some strong pressure from the Everblades on the PK. Here's Kolakowski. Leaves it for David Cotton with 15 to go in the period. Cotton knifing in. Cotton towards the net. Put it on goal off the side of the net. And now it's taken away by Zach Berzola. He'll drill it down the ice for Florida with 5 seconds to go here in the period. And the Mavericks will have some carryover penalty power play time to start period number 2. 55 seconds to be exact. But Sean, you got to like the Mavericks' first period effort here tonight.
Yeah, they competed really hard in the first 20-minute frame here. I thought they were on the better end of some of the scoring chances in this period, despite being outshot 10-7 in the first 20-minute frame. But overall, much better than last night. There's a lot to like on the ice right now for the Mavericks. They have tendencies to get better and better as the game goes on. This is exciting for this Mavericks group.
Shots were 10-7 for the Everblades there in the opening 20 minutes. Zach Berzola got the scoring started for Florida at the minute 30 mark from Oliver Chow. And it was Jeremy McKenna at 10:09 from Borchard and Koski on the power play. Let's send it down to Aaron, who's standing by to talk with Mavericks head coach and GM Tato Had.
Coach, incredibly physical first period out there. Are you really happy with how your team has responded?
Yeah, I thought the pace of play was better, physicality was better. We got to continue to get to the net, continue to sustain that physicality. But no, I was happy with the start.
Absolutely. And I got to ask you about McKenna. 5 goals in the past 3 games. He's been showing up for you. How do you feel about his effort?
I absolutely love the kid. You know, he competes every night. He battles. He's got a hell of a shot. He comes to play every night. Very proud of him.
Absolutely. So great. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck in the second.
And thank you, Aaron. That was Mavericks head coach and GM Tato Had. Happy with the physicality and the good efforts there from the Mavericks in that first period. We're going to hear from Mavericks captain Jake Jaremko after these words. Mavericks won, Everblades won here after one. We'll be right back after this.
Yeah, it's great. You know, if like things aren't necessarily going your way, you know, you can get a little bit boost from the crowd, or say you're down 1 goal, all you need to do is, you know, put one in, get the crowd on your side, and feel like it's a little bit more of a wave coming. So, yeah, we use our fans as best we can, and they've been great for us, so we're looking forward to filling this place up. I mean, obviously it's the first time in team history, so yeah, it's going to be something to see. It's got to be a cool feeling for them, and, you know, it's a cool feeling for us, and we're going to try to take care of it on home ice.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need. With over 60 providers and 8 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
The letter K. It's a big part of what makes Kansas City great. It helps make the Kansas City Zoo roar. It's a home run for the Royals at the K. The Kansas City Chiefs won some big football games with it. You can't say Rock Chalk Jayhawk without it. And according to my son Wyatt, it's a big part of my name as well.
Luke is a K.
Welcome, Luke with a K. First Warn 5 Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris, only on KCTV5.
Car wrecks come with all sorts of problems, and most people don't know what to do. That's what we're here for.
I was driving down the highway, and a car just shot across traffic, and I hit the rear end of their bumper, and I drove right into a ditch. It was his catchy slogan that really got our attention with Mike's Got This. I was very satisfied with my settlement, and all I had to focus on was getting better. Mike's definitely got this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, my team and I, we've got this.
Welcome back inside Cable Dome Arena. Mavericks and Everblades tied at 1 here after the opening 20 minutes. Zach Berzola for the Florida Everblades, a minute 30 into the period. Jeremy McKenna on the power play, his 10th at 10:09 from Borchard and Koski. And a pretty physical first period there as well. We're going to hear from Jake Jaremko, Mavericks captain, who caught up with the media earlier this week.
JJ, just phenomenal year all around. Just what's the difference in the room and the energy like compared to last year, where kind of struggled to get into the playoffs, got eliminated in the first round, versus now you're competing for the Kelly Cup here?
Yeah, I think the energy's been unreal, all year. The vibe that we've had in that room is great. We gelled together pretty much right from the beginning of the year, and that's a huge part of the team. We get along together on the ice, we get along together off the ice. I think that's been kind of the major difference this year.
Yeah, and being the captain of this team, what has that presented you with this year? Just trying to keep a calm head for everyone in the room and really just representing the Mavericks well here.
Yeah, it's not that difficult of a job. The group in there it's an experienced group, and they make it really easy for me. There isn't really many issues that come up. We're really tight together, and it's a credit to a lot of guys. We've had a lot of guys who've been previous captains before too. So, I'm not just the only leader in that room. We have everybody who contributes in a different way.
How excited are you guys for the Kelly Cup championship, playoffs, final?
Yeah, we can't wait. The focus is on Friday right now. And once we won last Monday, that's the focus shifted right there. We were excited. We're ready to go. It was a really good practice today, good pace. So, ready to go.
Coming off a 7-1 win, obviously that part of the game is pretty good, but just what's been the key to success throughout these playoffs to keep this momentum?
I'd say our team defense. When we're playing on top of the other team, when we have a good F3 is what we talk about. I think that's the biggest key to our success, because we're a fast team, and when we utilize that speed, that's where we can separate ourselves from other teams.
You mentioned speed. How much has that proved to be an advantage throughout the playoffs?
Yeah, it's huge. When we get our legs going, when we're moving, I think that's the biggest key for us. We talk about that a lot, and that's been a big focus in practice all year. You could see right from the beginning of the year that this was going to be a very fast team, and that was going to be one of our biggest keys to success.
You've kept a core group of guys, this whole season. How important has that been, and that chemistry been to the success?
Yeah, keeping that core group together is huge. You can just gel, you can get that chemistry together. It's tough, and this league is tough because there's guys who shift in and shift out, with call-ups and injuries and other things. And we've been pretty fortunate throughout the year to keep the same group. And I think that's a huge part of why we've been gelled so well together all year.
Home ice this time around instead of like the last series we had to play the first 3 on the road. How much has been home ice just been helping you guys?
Yeah, home ice has been awesome. We've been selling out, pretty much every game, and that energy that the fans bring has been, really key. It gives us energy on the bench. Once we get them into the game, and it's big for the momentum of the game as well. And the fans have done a great job, and we can't wait to see them on Friday.
Have you experienced a championship series before?
Yeah, I have. So I actually was on Florida 2 years ago. So it'll be kind of cool to play against them now, playing against your whole team. So looking forward to it.
You guys mentioned the excitement the fans bring. I mean, is Kansas City a hockey town now officially?
Yeah, they love their Chiefs. Hopefully we can help make it part of a hockey town. And the fans have been awesome all year, so we can't thank them enough for the support.
You mentioned facing your old team. You still remember any guys over there?
Yeah. So I know a good chunk of those guys on that team. So there'll be some familiarity both ways with both teams. So it'll be fun. We're really looking forward to it. If there's a way to do it, you want to play against your old team.
How much does this mean for that fan base and this community that's followed you guys, for so long, and get to this, almost there right at the pinnacle? I mean, how much do you think this means for them?
It means a lot to them. The support's been, like I said, it's been unreal all year. They've been there, game in, game out, and we can't wait to do it for them.
JJ, Florida team's coming off of 2 straight Kelly Cup wins. Just what type of challenges may that present for you guys for the roster to battle past their championship pedigree that they've had recently?
Yeah, they got a lot of experience on that team. They've won the last 2, and that's a credit to them. It's a credit to the way that they play. They always they're a different team in the playoffs. They play hard. They like to get in your face. So it'll be a really good challenge for us. We gotta accept that challenge and and embrace it.
And just last thing, just what did it mean to you to close out that last series against Toledo with such a big exclamation point with the 7-1 win like that?
Yeah, it felt good. We played in a lot of tight games, so to get kind of one like that where you can kind of just feel it the whole way. It was just a really good vibe in that room, really good feeling, and it was a lot of fun to do that for us, for the fans. They got to celebrate a lot of goals, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's very special. All year we've talked about, building strength through adversity, sharpening our sword. And, for a team that was predicted not to make the playoffs, I think that, we've shut up a lot of naysayers. We've had a tough road, but we haven't backed down. And that's what I appreciate about these men. We don't back down. We understand that we're sharpening our sword. And you want to be battle-tested. If you want to win a championship, you're going to play good teams, and that's going to make you better. And so I respect that about these men.
We're proud to call Kansas City home. Like everyone here, we know we've got the best barbecue. But we're also pretty good at pasta, tacos, and even beer. We love our sports. We love our city. And we love supporting each other. There's a lot to love about Kansas City. And at Price Chopper, we love serving you. Thank you, Kansas City, for always having a place for us at your table.
Day 1, Kansas City took me in. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know what we could become. Still, they took a chance, and so did Community America. They invested in me and the entire community. Invest in what you believe in with who you believe in. Because it's not just where you put your money, it's where your money puts you. Member-owned, open to all, Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Hey guys, it's Isaiah from Shields, and it's springtime, and what that means is it's grilling season. If you want to swing on in, we have everything that you could possibly need. We have sauces, we have seasonings, we have everything from grills, smokers, pizza ovens, griddles, all the good stuff. Just swing on into your local store or check us out online at shields.com. Stay hungry.
Welcome back inside Cable Dome Arena. First intermission, Mavericks and Everblades tied at 1 after 1. We're going to hear from Mavericks head coach and GM Tato Hadd in a second, but Sean, one of the things he talked about there was the physicality, and there's no shortage of that here in that first period.
You're seeing a lot of big hits on both ends right now. It makes for some incredibly fun hockey to watch, and it just makes you a little bit worried maybe whose bodies are going to give out first, because this over a 7-game stretch almost feels just insurmountable to be able to sustain on your body. But right now you're seeing a lot of physicality. It's great to see the Mavericks hoping they can ramp it up even more here in the second period.
And now more from Mavericks head coach and GM Tato Hadd. LaFontaine has to hustle back to the crease, into the slot, a shot, and now a kick marked out in front. Wilms centering pass, and a big glove save on Grezik by LaFontaine. More force behind the net by Calvis, out in front, pad save LaFontaine, and he stopped the fall. Drops it off to set left side. Gilmore's shot save LaFontaine, rebound loose.
from a world of darkness. We became a nation of light. A nation powered by electricity. A nation powered here in Kansas City by IBEW Local 124. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 124, powering Kansas City.
This time.
I'm a little off the green.
Okay, here's what you're gonna do.
At Big O Tires, we do things differently for a lot of reasons. And one is to get you the best deal possible. Handling the cost of car repairs can be a challenge, but we're here to help. Our no credit needed financing or 0% interest also come with exclusive benefits, so you can get back on the road. Financing, it's one more reason. Big O is the team you trust.
Yeah, it's great. You know, if like things aren't necessarily going your way, you know, you can get a little bit boost from the crowd, or say you're down one goal, all you need to do is, you know, put one in, get the crowd on your side, and feel like it's a little bit more of a wave coming. So yeah, we use our fans as best we can, and they've been great for us. So we're looking forward to filling this place up. I mean, obviously it's the first time in team history, so yeah, it's going to be something to see. It's got to be a cool feeling for them, and you know, it's a cool feeling for us, and we're gonna try to take care of it on home ice.
All right, we're here with Mavericks head coach and GM Tad O'Had. Tad, obviously you guys didn't get the result you were hoping for last night, but we know it's a long series. You guys are one of the most resilient groups in the league. What was the message to the guys in the locker room after that game?
Yeah, you know what, short memory. You know, regardless whether it's a 8-1 loss or a 2-1 loss, it's a loss. And you have to be able to recalibrate and get ready for tonight. And that's the way we've always treated it. We've talked about having a short memory and just, focus on the next game, win the next game. That's the only attitude you can have. Wasn't happy with our play. We didn't execute our game plan. With that said, we've got to reset and get after it today.
Jeremy McKenna had a nice response there with the deflection goal in the first period. 4 goals for him in his last 2 games. Must be great to see him continuing to produce.
Yeah, you know what? He's a tenacious kid. Battles whistle, has a high quality shot, competes on all the small details, and he gets rewarded. So, we want to continue to see the same.
We knew Florida was going to be a dangerous team. You know these guys quite well. What are some of the things they do well that you guys are maybe looking to build upon and improve here tonight?
Yeah, so you know what? They're a well-structured team, well-coached team. They do all the hard details well. And, I think, Idaho and Toledo, both very good teams, very fast and high-paced. But, what? Florida doesn't give you an inch. You've got to work for everything. And so at the end of the day, the will and the want has to be greater. I didn't think we did a good enough job getting in front of Cam Johnson, taking away his eyes, crossing his vision. I didn't think we were very good on loose pucks, and we didn't respond to their physicality very well.
You guys outshot the Everblades in that third period, 13-10. You drew some penalties as well. Is that one of the positives you take away and look to continue to do more of here tonight? You know what, to be honest with you, I thought the third period was better, but, also is that something where they took the foot off the gas? Ultimately, watch video all last evening, all this morning, all today. We've got to get back to what makes us successful, playing with pace, playing whistle tough, and finding ways to generate offense through high-quality chances. We weren't a structurally sound team yesterday, and we've got to get back to doing things our way. Bradley Schoonberg and David Noel are going to slide into the lineup here tonight. What do you expect those guys to bring? Bring some energy, bring some pace, bring some physicality. We just want, a shot to the arm with regards to their energy and tenaciousness. Was talking to Coach West yesterday about the work you guys have done here over the past 3 or 4 seasons. He mentioned it's been just great to see the team progress the way it has, and he mentioned it's something that's happened quicker maybe than you guys had both anticipated. I mean, how special is it to see you guys just to have come this far in so little time? Yeah, you know what? Very proud of this organization and proud of this team. We've got work to do. We've got work to do. Do I like to see the progress of where we're going? Yes. It's come a long ways in 4 years. It's come a long ways in the past 3 years. But we've got greater hockey to show to these fans and ourselves, and we plan on doing that this evening. Thanks a lot, Ted. Best of luck tonight. All right, thank you. Welcome back inside Cable Dom Arena as we get ready for period number 2. The Mavericks will have 55 seconds left to work with on the Independence Utilities power play. We just heard from Mavericks head coach and GM Tad O'Had. And Sean, one of the things he mentioned was still a lot of work left to do for this Mavericks team, but a much better first period there for them.
Yeah, you can only win and lose one game at a time, and like you mentioned, you want to have a short memory about what happened in last night's game and just focus on the next task ahead of you, and that's exactly what this Mavericks group did. Once again, you did give up the first goal of the game to the Everblades there. You were able to battle past that. Jeremy McKenna comes through on the power play to tie up this game at 1. It's a fresh sheet of ice for the next 40 minutes here. You got to make sure you go out and win these 2 periods and close out this game, too, at home.
Mavericks with a chance to take the lead here. 55 seconds to go on the power play. Jeremy McKenna scored at the tail end of their second power play there back in that first period. That came at 10:09. It was his 10th of the playoffs from Cade Borchard and Cole Koski to tie the game at 1 for the Mavericks. Shots were 10-7 for the Everblades there in that first period. Jordan Sambrook still in the box serving the minor for interference. Second period brought to you by Macadoodles as the crowd comes to their feet here as we get set for period number 2 to be Nolan Walker standing in opposite Bobo Carpenter here on the face-off to begin the second stanza, and we're underway. Mavericks will go from right to left here in this second period, wearing those home whites once again tonight with the orange and black trim. Drilled in by Max Andreev. Jaremko fielding it along the near side. Down low. Knockbar out in front. Score! Max Andreev lights the lamp after a beautiful dish from David Cotton, and the Mavericks have their second power play goal of the game and their first lead of the series.
The Everblade penalty killers, they get pulled up into the zone, and it's a nice play by David Cotton to outweight the defender, and he makes a perfect saucer pass right over the Everblade, who goes low and right onto the stick of Max Andreev, who puts it home. Like you mentioned, the first lead of this Kelly Cup final here for this Mavericks team. Phenomenal play on the power play there.
And the Mavericks power play quickly turning into a weapon here in game number 2. Another Shinova Solar power play goal as they strike early in the second period to take a 2-1 lead, and the puck ricochets out of play here down in the Mavericks end. 19:35 to go in the second period. Max Andreev with a huge tally here on the power play to give the Mavericks the lead. It's his 4th of the playoffs. It comes at 18 seconds into the second period from David Cotton and Jake Jaremko. David Cotton now with points in 7 of his last 8 home games and points in 4 of his last 5. And Sean, that was the guy that we highlighted in the pregame. And great to see him having an impact here in game 2.
He does such a phenomenal job in the offensive zone, creating chances and using that big body to his advantage. But you almost forget how skilled and talented of a forward he is. It really was a phenomenal primary assist there for him to go out and get.
First shot of the period for the Mavericks, and it gives them the 2-1 lead. Here comes Sean Jostling across center ice. Oliver Chow sized up there by his former teammate at UMass Amherst, Jake McLaughlin. Back to the top. Here's a wrister from Ewens and glove by Jack LaFontaine. Just over a minute gone here in the second period. 15 of the 26 Kelly Cup winners in the history of the ECHL have had home ice. Obviously the road to the Kelly Cup has came through Kansas City. Mavericks had 25 wins here at home during the regular season, more than any other team. You can see why the building rocking once again here tonight. Be sure to reserve your tickets by visiting Ticketmaster or calling 816-252-7825. Here's a drive just off target there from Berzola, who had the goal for the Everblades back in the first period, just 90 seconds in. Berzola, outlet pass. Hosang hands it off. Lambden weaving in, pulls up on the far boards. Berzola now closing out in front to Hosang. He'll kick it to the near side. Sandbrook winds and fires. That one right through the low slot. Hosang, little razzle dazzle, hands it off for a shot that might have grazed the crossbar after Lambden let it fly.
You see David Noel giving a little stick tap to Jack LaFontaine. This one might have got a piece of the shoulder as well. I think this is a really nice save here by LaFontaine as he tries to hold this lead here for the Mavericks. This guy, when he gets into a rhythm, he's incredibly tough to beat. That's what you're seeing here since that first goal has gone in. We'll take another look at it real quick. Did look like it just barely caught a piece of Jack LaFontaine and then goes up over the crossbar. Nice work by him to fight off that chance.
LaFontaine looking for his 7th win of the postseason. He's won 10 of his last 12. Coming in leading the ECHL in the playoffs with a .954 save percentage and a 1.69 goals against. And for those that aren't diehard hockey followers, those numbers absolutely tremendous, Sean.
Yeah, he's been doing an unbelievable job on this postseason run. He's entering himself as an early candidate for MVP if the Mavericks are able to clinch this Kelly Cup. He's staring down one of the best goaltenders who's been doing it for a little bit longer in this league than he has in Cam Johnson, and he's outperforming him right now.
Cam Johnson obviously back-to-back playoff MVPs and leading the ECHL this postseason with 13 wins. Swept out of harm's way there by Ryan Jones. Here's David Cotton across center ice. Kolkoski just a hair ahead of the puck into the zone, offside here on the Mavericks. Game 2 winners are 175 and 79 all-time in ECHL Best of 7 series. And it's the first appearance in the Kelly Cup Finals for the Mavericks in franchise history. First appearance in the finals for a pro hockey team in KC since the Blades made it to the Turner Cup Finals back in 1995, which was their second appearance in the finals after having won it 3 years prior. And so it's been a long time coming for a finals appearance for Kansas City Pro Hockey, and the Orange Army couldn't be more thrilled. Here's Nate Konepke shielding the puck there from Brar, able to wedge it back out. Smolik from his own line elevates it across, gliding back in. Moberg got a goal last night, offside here on Florida. 17:47 to go in the second period. Moberg, another one of those guys that the Everblades love to activate from the back end, had a goal last night. Leads Florida with 6 goals and 12 points in the playoffs. We talked about Smolik as well, Sean, a little bit at the top of the broadcast. Had a pair of goals last night for Florida. Another one of those solid blue liners for them. Moberg and Smolik playing out there as a pair, still on the ice right now. Here's sending a big hit there on McLaughlin. Swept back around to the far side, pinching and keeping in Smolik. So Duquette had it knifed away. Now Jake McLaughlin. They'll snap it up the near side, and an offside here on the Mavs as Hayhurst was a hair ahead of the play.
Both these teams, a lot of speed, but that's about 4 or 5 whistles now in about a 2-minute span since Max Andreev capitalized on the power play. I don't think you mind this if you're the Mavericks, just taking a chance to regroup every now and then and allowing yourself to collect your heads. But either way, it's going to be interesting to see who really benefits from maybe having a little bit of a slower start to this second period just in terms of pace of play.
Shots 12-9 in the game for the Everblades. Just over 2.5 minutes played here in the second period. Mavericks with a 2-1 lead. LaFontaine comes out to play it. Now Ewens walks in. A shot ricocheted wide. Scooped up by Lansdell. Back to the blue line. Riley hands it back in deep. McLaughlin there to cut it off behind the Maverick net. Relays up the near side. Pitchforked off the glass by Jacob Hayhurst, and it tumbles back into the Florida end. Riley galloping back to play it. Reversed it there for Ewens. On an NHL contract with the Florida Panthers. Drafted by them back in the 4th round in 2020. Deflected in by Pendenza from center ice. LaFontaine will move it for Noel, who took a big hit there from Lansdell. And now the Mavericks clear to center. Sandbrook on a cross. Berzola rifles it back in. Jostling back around to the far side. Borchard able to filter it through. Here's Walker on the move. Knife back to the KC line. And now Noel will pitch it back in. Here's Borchard tried to spin one out in front for Patrick Curry. Loose puck now to Nolan Walker. Drops it off for Curry. Lets it go. Calvis point to point. Noel intentionally wide. Patrick Curry looking to hunt down a loose puck. Kept in by Calvis. And now it's picked up by Berzola from in front of the Florida net. Lead pass off the skate there of Bendenza. Far side, Chow pulls up. Chow trying to swagger free from Curry. And it careens back out to center ice. Here's Berzola just outside the Mavericks blue line. He'll rifle it in through both corners. Hosang lets it go. Skirving moving in and a save made by LaFontaine. And a crowd gathers at the side of the Mavericks net.
See a little bit of that physicality once again after the whistle here. Looks like Jack LaFontaine took a little bit of contact from Chow. And Cade Borchert not too happy about that. Comes in there, lets him know how he feels about that contact after the whistle. But nice little opportunity there for the Everblades. A really nice save by LaFontaine and an even more important freeze to be able to go out there and get this line change with some tired legs out on the ice there.
Feistiness certainly a trend here early on in this series. We saw 30 combined penalty minutes in the game last night. The Everblades combined for 44 penalty minutes against Adirondack in Game 6 earlier this week when they eliminated the Thunder. 19 of those penalty minutes went against Florida. Here's Hayhurst across center ice. McKenna into the zone, but pushed over the line there was Max Andreev, and so they'll call the Mavericks here for offside with 15:47 to go in the second, and a 2-1 Mavericks lead here in Game 2.
It's just about the third or fourth offsides we've seen already in this second period. Not too often do we see this Mavericks group go offsides. It's just kind of strange that it's happened in this quantity to start off this second period.
Hayhurst taps for Konepke on a cross, rifled in by Jones. Around the kick plate near side. Hayhurst out in front. Save Johnson. It's loose. And they're going to say the net came dislodged here. Looks like a whistle blown 15:37 to go, but a good play there by Hayhurst just to throw that puck on net, Sean.
It almost looked like it was going to be an intentional pass behind the net for Jeremy McKenna, but like you mentioned, it goes right towards Cam Johnson, who maybe was just as surprised as you and I were to see that go towards him. And you see Jeremy McKenna trying to poke this thing loose. Max Andreev gets in on the action as well. Looks like the Everblades would have gotten possession of that puck there, so maybe this little offensive zone draw is a little mini win for them on that shift.
Jay Tremko in to take it against Todd Skirving. Tremko had 9 points in 16 playoff games with the Everblades 2 years ago, part of that Kelly Cup winning team. This one's tracked down by Ryan Jones. He'll dish it laterally for Konepke. Elwood pass off the stick of David Cotton. Here come the Everblades back through center ice, jostling a shot block. Loose puck out in front, sent just wide by Skirving. And now it's steered up the near boards by Konepke and lofted high back inside the Florida end. And this will be icing on the Mavericks. 15:10 to go here in the second.
On the night yesterday when every bounce went against the Mavericks, this is almost another one as it just kind of awkwardly trickles into that slot area, and it's a backhand shot that thankfully goes wide. I'm just glad to see the Mavericks haven't been necessarily lucky in this game, but compared to last night, and any bounce that doesn't end up in the back of the net obviously helps.
Yeah, a lot of fluky bounces that went Florida's way last night. Here's a big blast from downtown off the stick of Berzola, and a save LaFontaine.
I think this one deflected a couple times on its way to Jack LaFontaine, but one thing that LaFontaine does so well compared to so many other goaltenders in this league is he attacks a lot of shooting lanes very aggressively with his glove and with his body. You see him a lot of times trying to fight through screens to really position himself well to make saves, and you see it there all the way out on the top of that blue paint from that chance from the shot. That's one of the just another nice save to add to an already impressive performance here.
And that traffic, like you mentioned, Sean, that was something that the Mavericks wanted to incorporate into their game plan here tonight. They've certainly done that, trying to make Cam Johnson's life a little bit more difficult as they lead the Everblades 2-1 here in the second period of Game 2. 5 minutes gone. Mavericks trailing 1-0 in the series. Here's a shot from Berzola, blocked away by Borchard. Now loose puck in the corner. Swept back up top. Penalty upcoming here to the Mavericks. Little dangle out in front by Lansdell. And now the whistle blown. It's going to be a tripping call here against KC.
Yeah, it looks like Cade Borchert got his stick caught up. And I think it was Berzola had this puck.
Kansas City 28,
right at that point opportunity. Makes a nice move. I think he was slipping by Cade Borchert, and then Borchert trips him down. And so the Mavericks penalty kill will be put to the test here once again. Had a really nice penalty kill back in that first period. We'll hope to see more of the same.
Second PK of the night for the Mavericks, brought to you by Gray Chiropractic. And it is Cade Borchert in the box for tripping. Here's Riley, a shot blocked down in front by Ryan Jones, and he'll scrape it all the way down the ice. Mavericks have done tremendous on the penalty kill here in the playoffs. Now 42 for 45 if you include that PK back in the first period. Pirouette move there from Hosang. He'll dish it into the far corner. Konepke pestered there by Jostling. Rotates it near side. Carpenter back to the right point. Riley, saucer pass down low to Chow. Chow along the goal line looking. Back on top. Here's a drive from Riley. Ricocheted wide. Scooped up by Ryan Jones. And he'll launch it all the way down the ice. Let's go Mavericks, the chant here. 14 minutes to go in the second period. Mavericks on the PK for another minute 10. Jacob Hayers, good work there to pester Will Riley. Here's Hosang on the move. On across for Lambden, and the Everblades are offside. Good job there by the Mavericks to stand them up at the blue line.
Really nice job on the penalty kill here so far. The Everblades have gotten some nice puck possession in the zone, but when they've had to, the Mavericks defense has really come up with some nice shot blocks and just some really nice clears. So overall, special teams continuing to be a difference maker in this game too.
We talked about the struggles that the Everblades have had on the power play on the road, just 1 for 24 in the postseason. And they now allowed 8 power play goals on the road in the playoffs. Here's Marc-Olivier Duquette. Good work there in deep, and Andreev will pound it all the way down the ice, 200 feet. 40 seconds to go here on the Mavericks PK. 13.5 to go in the second period. Mavericks looking to even up this best-of-7 series at 1 game apiece. Here's Moberg. Relays up the far side. Rink wide now for Wedman. Walks to the near circle. Backhander right through the blue paint. LaFontaine might have got a piece of it. Sendin now for Wedman. A shot fought up by LaFontaine to the corner. McLaughlin pokes it up the near side. Here comes Curry up ice with Cotton. Curry left wing. Shielding the puck there, taken in the corner by Sendin. As him and Curry are still tied up in the corner, they're wrestling down behind the play. Here comes Florida down the other end, driving wide Pendenza. Curry and Sendin still tied up, now just getting back to their feet. Borchert out of the box. Mavericks 2 for 2 on the PK. Sent back in deep now by Lambden. Mavericks wanted a call there on Sendin, as him and Curry were tied up down behind the play in the Florida end. Here's Curry back up ice, feeds Borchert on right wing. Borchert to the high slot. Cotton, he's drilled off the puck there on a good hit from Zach Berzola. Jay Cheremko trying to corral it with his skate. And now he'll force Berzola back to the near boards. Berzola peels across center ice, enters right wing. Berzola sized up by Konepke, driving wide. Berzola, and a penalty upcoming here. Looks like it's going to be on the Everblades for interference, as the whistle was blown while Berzola still had control of the puck.
Looks like that's going to be Lansdell, who's making his way to the penalty box. I didn't see what the contact was out on the ice, but you saw the official make the interference call with his arm.
Florida 34, 2 minutes interference.
In a game where special teams has proven to be a difference maker for the Mavericks, a couple of power play goals, some really nice penalty kills. They'll be back on the man advantage when we come out of this break. We'll be right back.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need. With over 60 providers and 8 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
The letter K. It's a big part of what makes Kansas City great. It helps make the Kansas City Zoo roar. It's a home run for the Royals at the K. The Kansas City Chiefs won some big football games with it. You can't say Rock Chalk Jayhawk without it. And according to my son Wyatt, it's a big part of my name as well.
Luke is a K.
Welcome, Luke with a K. First Warn 5 Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris. Only on KCTV5.
Welcome back. 12:10 to go. Mavericks heading to their 5th Independence Utilities power play of the game. They're already 2 for 4. And it's Jesse Lansdale in the box for interference for Florida. Mavericks trying to control it right off the draw, but it's scraped down the ice by the Everblades and back into the Mavericks' end. This power play brought to you by Independence Utilities. Inside 12 minutes to go here in the second period. The Mavericks had some good looks on the power play last night despite going 0 for 5. They've been tremendous here tonight with a couple goals. Looking for more here. Koski deals it down for McKenna. McKenna angles it back to Koski at the right point. Hands it off. McKenna into the slot. Here's the shot. He scores! Jacob Hayers guns it home past the blocker side of Cam Johnson. Their 3rd power play goal of the game, and the Mavericks take a 3-1 lead.
It's some really nice work along the wall by Jeremy McKenna and Cole Koski. They played pitch and catch a couple times, and then McKenna is able to find Hayhurst in the slot as the Mavericks double their lead as the power play strikes once again.
3rd power play goal of the night for the Mavericks. They scored 3 power play goals in a single game back in the Idaho series in Game 4 in Boise. And the Mavericks turning the man advantage into an absolute weapon here tonight. All 3 goals coming on the power play. It's another Shinova Solar power play goal. The Mavericks up now 3-1. Jacob Hayhurst with the tally for Kansas City to give them some insurance. Here's a shot right on from Jostling and a save LaFontaine. He'll hang on with 11:16 to go. It's Hayhurst's 4th of the playoffs at 8:21 from McKenna and Koski. So Cole Koski with a pair of assists tonight. Jeremy McKenna with a 2-point performance so far as well.
And that special teams unit is just clicking right now offensively. They're doing a phenomenal job of finding the back of the net, and you can't win at this time of year without good special teams play. And right now the Mavericks absolutely acing it right now, doing phenomenal on the PK and finding their strikes on the power play as well.
And the struggles continue for Florida on the PK on the road, as they've now allowed 9 power play goals on the road in the playoffs. Riley intentionally wide. Let's go Mavericks, the chant here once again from the Orange Army inside Cable Dome Arena. Sean Carrier, Joe Benson here with you for Game 2. Mavericks on top 3-1, looking to tie this best-of-7 series up. Here's Pendenza, defended by Jaremko. Cotton able to slip it back through for Jaremko. Gave it on a cross, but it was knocked down by Oliver Chow. Now long lead pass off the stick of Riley, delayed offside here on Florida. And then McLaughlin absolutely decks Riley. And now a big crowd gathers, tempers flaring in the Mavericks end. Helmets loose, gloves loose. Mayhem here as Jack LaFontaine will calmly take a knee in the far corner.
Yeah, he's going to get out of this scrum, and that's the best thing for him to do right now. But holy cow, what a hit by Jake McLaughlin going into the wall here. And this is the type of shift that you're happy Justin Nachbar is on the ice for. He's your nuclear deterrent when you need him to be, as he gets in there and he mixes it up as well as he's offering it to some of the Everblades right now. Doesn't look like anyone's obliging.
Yeah, Justin Nachbar wants to have a go there with Sean Jostling, who, like we mentioned, leads all ECHL forwards in penalty minutes. He's going to get the sin bin here along with Nachbar, it looks like, and they're going to send McLaughlin in there as well. We'll get things sorted out. Here's some calls.
Multiple penalties on the play. Kansas City 27, 2 minutes for roughing. Kansas City 32, 2 minutes for roughing. Florida, number 27, 2 minutes for roughing. Florida will have a 2-minute power play.
And so, Sean, it looks like we should stay at even strength here, as 2 penalties were dished out aside. The question is, it was 4, it looks like, for jostling, and then you have 2 Mavericks in the box.
So it's the double minor to jostling and a 1 minor to McLaughlin and Knockbar each. So despite 2 guys being in the box compared to 1 for the Everblades, like you mentioned, we should be staying 5 aside here, I do believe. But, you know, this play was delayed offside going into the corner. The problem is the Orange Army, they're showing up. This is a sellout crowd. No one can hear the referee yelling off. So this is a live play to both Jake McLaughlin and everyone else on the ice. So you understand why he's using the body, trying to establish that physical presence. He thinks it's totally an okay situation to do that. Probably would have gotten away with it too, but just a heavy scrum afterwards. I think that's where most of these penalties are coming from. As we see, all the calls on the ice were roughing. So either way, you'd love to see that feistiness out of this Mavericks group. And Justin Knockbar, this is an okay penalty for him to go take in this situation, because you want to make sure you're protecting your guys, protecting your players. He is that guy on this roster to have that role. Don't mind that at all. Excuse me, and now it does look like we're going to be getting a penalty kill here for the Mavericks.
Yeah, so the Mavericks will be short-handed here. The 2 minutes posted for Jake McLaughlin here inside the arena. And so the Everblades on the power play here for the 3rd time tonight. This PK brought to you by Gray Chiropractic. Here's Oliver Chow back in down the left wing. Sweeps it around to the near side. Here's Josh Hosang. Diagonal feed. Moberg backs it up. Here's Riley straight away. Hands it off. Hosang to the goal line. Out in front. Save LaFontaine. And a big save again there with that left pad. And it's cleared by Koski.
He's tracking the puck incredibly well tonight. It's a great first save, and he gets out there with that left pad to make that rebound save as well.
Here's Riley flying back into the zone, slides it rink wide. Chow takes it for a stroll down to the corner, hands it off to Carpenter. Bump back up top. Here's Riley at the right point. Now to Hosang, right circle. Hosang draws it back to Riley. On across a one-timer, save, rebound. Sent just wide by Carpenter. Here's Hosang out of the corner, supported by Carpenter. Carpenter walking free, a shot glove save, LaFontaine. Rebound loose, right to Hosang. Hosang, pressure there by Patrick Curry. Loose puck along the near side. Curry continuing to duel with Hosang. Here's Carpenter serving, hands it off. Sent back up top, Hosang. Now to the near circle, walks in. Loose puck out in front, tap back for Riley. Drifting, hands it back over for Berzola. Berzola button hooks near side. 30 seconds to go on the Mavericks PK. A one-timer, Riley blocked down in front by Calvis. And Curry will sauce it all the way down the ice.
Well-earned wholesale change by this penalty kill unit. Jack LaFontaine making the saves when he needs to. Theo Calvis and Patrick Curry sacrificing the body, making that play to clear the puck.
Under 10 seconds to go now in the Mavericks PK. 8:40 to go in the second period. And the crowd are about to erupt as the Mavericks on the verge of coming back to even strength. Jake McLaughlin steps out of the box as the Mavericks remain perfect on the penalty kill here in this series. Here's Moberg on the move through center. Has a good back check from Andreev. Hayers able to pick up a loose puck. Hayers peels off, threw it in front, and a save made by Johnson. And then McKenna's hit hard behind the net. Back up ice comes Wedman, wrapped up there by Max Andreev. Offside here on Florida, and McKenna was tied up behind the play with Moberg. Moberg continuing to jaw at Jeremy McKenna.
Jeremy McKenna, he's got to stick to what he does best, and that's scoring goals and racking up points. That's what he's done here tonight. A nice play by Jacob Ayers and him. They come within inches of scoring that 4th goal on Cam Johnson. We'll hope to see more of the same when we come back. We'll be right back after this.
Our players feed off the fans' energy. They've been phenomenal all season. We absolutely love playing in front of these people. And the one thing I would say to the people that were here Monday, those are, our Kansas City Maverick diehards. And so it's even more special to win in front of them and for them to see it. I'll tell you what, we really appreciate the Kansas City Mavericks faithful, and they came out strong, and it'll be a great Friday and Saturday night with them here.
Welcome back. 8:10 to go here in the second period. Mavericks up 3-1 over the Florida Everblades in Game 2 of the Kelly Cup Finals. It's been a feisty game, especially this second period. 20 combined penalty minutes in the game so far. Tonight we saw 30. Last night, the most the Mavericks have had in the playoffs combined was 34. That was Game 1 against the Idaho Steelheads back in the second round. Now we get some more jousting off the face-off between Jesse Lansdale and Patrick Curry. Jesse Lansdale, one of those late season acquisitions for Florida, came from the University of Nebraska Omaha, played there with Nolan Sullivan. Also spent some time at Notre Dame, played 1 year with Cale Morris. Nolan Walker, he'll punch it up the far side, hacked all the way down ice by Cade Borchard, not enough for icing. Ben Brar back to collect for the Everblades. 7:50 to go here in the second period. Shots 21-12 in the game for the Everblades. Tied up behind the play there was Nolan Walker along with Lansdale. Lansdale's been a thorn in the side of the Mavericks here tonight, and he unloads on Patrick Curry. Here's Borchard gliding back into the zone right wing. Borchard a shot off the glove of Cam Johnson. Kept in now by Nate Konepke. Down low to Cade Borchard, right past the stick of his fellow Burnsville, Minnesota native. Here's McKenna drive, and a glove save made there by Johnson. Then he takes a swipe at the stick of Cade Borchard. And Cam Johnson, no stranger to physicality. He had a fight against Savannah goaltender Michael McNiven back on January 21st earlier this season.
He can do it all. He's making the saves when he needs to and dropping the gloves. You don't see a goalie fight too often anymore. It's always a special occurrence when it does happen, but either way, you see Lansdale still trying to jaw at this Mavericks bench, shake them off their rhythm. You'd like to see this Mavericks offensive group shoot the puck towards Cam Johnson a little more. They've done a nice job of scoring the goals, but just 13 shots overall to the Everblades 21. You want to start peppering him, trying to wear him down, and a guy that you expect is going to play the remainder of this season here for the Everblades.
Here's Oliver Chow advancing across center ice, jostling, wristed in off the shin pads of Jake McLaughlin. Here's Marc-Olivier Duquette behind the net. Picked up now by Jacob Hayers. He's pressured there by Will Riley. They were teammates for 3 years at RPI, were Hayers and Riley. Here's Riley again on the cross-ice feed, sent back out in front. And Karam's out the far side. Here's Max Andreev now, weaving through center ice with speed. Andreev takes it into the near corner. He's crunched there by Riley, but bounces off the check, and Riley bore the brunt of that one. Loose puck to the far side. Andreev interfered with there by Ewens. We play on. Sent back to the line. Calvis delays. Shot tip wide there by Andreev. Loose puck near side. Noel back towards the net, but wide. Here's Jaremko jumping on the ice. Jaremko able to bounce off that hit from Ewens. Oliver Chow now takes a bump from Jacob Hayhurst. They duel. Stashed back in deep by Ewens. Chased down now by Riley. Under 6.5 to go here in the second period. The feistiness continuing here, and an icing called on Florida.
What happens is when you play with this physical style, it takes a lot of your energy to hit and to be hit. And that was a battle of a shift from the Andreev line out there with the remainder of those Everblades. And the Mavericks are able to get they're able to get a shift change towards the end of this here, and the Everblades are still all out on the ice after the icing. You'd really like to see them capitalize with some tired legs out there for the Everblades now.
Jake Jaremko in to take the draw against Joe Pendenza. Playing his 5th year with the Everblades, a 10-year pro. Everblades control, and they'll look to advance out across center ice. Looked like Ewens had a grab of Koski's stick there as he exited the zone. Here's Nate Konepke now back deep in his own end. Had the lone assist on McKenna's goal last night. Picked off, brought in here by Berzola. Rattles it around the far side. Josh Hosang had it stripped there by Ryan Jones. Floats it back to the line, gets past the stick of Sambrook. Here's Koski racing after a loose puck. Sambrook able to shield him momentarily. Koski taken down by Sambrook, his former teammate. Here's David Cotton now shielding against Hosang. Still jousting are Sambrook and Koski. Here's Hosang now out across center ice. Nice sachet move to the inside, now outside. Here's Wedman trying to stash it out in front. Loose puck to Lambden. Now Hosang swings it back towards the line. Tip free. Here's Schoombert moving in. Knockbar, and a shot knocked away there on a good back check from Berzola. A good hustle there from Bradley Schoombert. As the two Manitoba natives nearly connected there for a pretty play. Now injured on the ice is Lambden, slow to get up for Florida. Able to make his way safely back to the bench. Hosang fanned on the clearing attempt. Here's Wedman, a shot turned aside easily by LaFontaine. Schoombert, he'll pitch it back out to center ice. And it's lobbed back in by Justin Knockbar. Inside 5 minutes to go here in the second period. Extremely lively crowd here tonight inside Cable Dome Arena. Here's Carpenter in transition. End-to-end they go in game two. Here's a shot off target. As Sendin tried to beat LaFontaine stick side. Here's Calvis. Up ahead for Borchard. Borchard centering pass. Curry had it knocked away. Loose puck at the top of the crease. Walker couldn't locate it. Swept back around far side. Here's Patrick Curry. Cycles down low. Walker behind the net. Walker out in front. Curry had his stick tied up there effectively by Mark Sendin. Here's Lansdale back up ice. He'll loft it, and Curry shoved down at the center circle. Lost his helmet on the play. Arms of the referee stay down. And the Orange Army raining down on the referees with boos here. Under 4 minutes to go in the second. Here's Borchard walking free. Put it off the outside of the net. Borchard back up with it. Loose puck out in front. Close quarters. Sent back to the blue line. Here's Jones. Back down low for Jaremko. Separated from the play there by Skirving. The Orange Army really voicing their displeasure here. Tremendous atmosphere inside the Cable Dome Arena here tonight. Here's David Cotton, got a piece of it. Able to direct it back to center ice. Kolakowski took a bump there by jostling at center. 3:15 to go here in the second period of game two. Max Andreev battling in the corner. Walking free is Brar. Takes it behind the net. Wraparound chance. Stopped by LaFontaine. Loose puck, and LaFontaine will cover it for the face-off.
Call coming here to the Everblades. Ryan Jones took a spear straight to the midsection at the end of this play. There's been a lot of feistiness ramping up, and you felt like it was going to boil over at some point. As you see Ryan Jones hunched over right now, this one was brutal. Right at the end of the play. I wouldn't be surprised if the league has a longer look at this one by the end of tonight because, man, there's been a lot of action back and forth, and the referees have swallowed their whistles for the majority of it. And head trainer Nick Potter tending to Ryan Jones now as this one looks to be pretty brutal at the end of the play. Just gets this stick straight in between his legs.
That's Ben Brar, the guilty party for Florida. And some concern there, like you mentioned, Sean, for Ryan Jones being tended to by Nick Potter. Jones still on one knee here down on the Mavericks end of the ice as we wait the call. But just not the kind of play you like to see. Certainly not part of the game, and the crowd giving their applause here as Jones heads back towards the bench, and then Lansdell came in with a few words of his own, but he ended up taking out the linesman.
Yeah, nice little collision between those two guys, completely incidental. Won't
Florida
have any action because of that, but Ryan
flashing.
Jones, great to see him make his way off the ice as the referees are trying to do what they can to calm things down here because there's a lot of jousting physically, verbally out on the ice right now. You're hoping to see calmer heads prevail at the outside of this media timeout, but it does look like the Mavericks will be back on the power play. Keep it locked here on KCTV. We'll be back after this.
We're proud to call Kansas City home. Like everyone here, we know we've got the best barbecue. But we're also pretty good at pasta, tacos, and even beer. We love our sports. We love our city. And we love supporting each other. There's a lot to love about Kansas City. And at Price Chopper, we love serving you. Thank you, Kansas City, for always having a place for us at your table.
Mavs country, you do not want to miss a minute of Mavericks playoff action like this tremendous game we've seen here tonight. The Mavericks' next home game would be June 10th for Game 6. Be sure to visit Ticketmaster. Call 816-252-7825. You can also call the ticket office to talk about season ticket packs for next year. Mavericks heading to the power play here with 3:03 to go in the second period. Ben Brar in the box for the Everblades after that nasty play happening on that last sequence. The call officially is a slash on Brar. And so the Mavericks are going to head to their 6th power play of the night. They've already tallied 3 times in a chance here for a late insurance goal in this second period to give them a little bit more of a cushion. This one rattles all the way back down into the Mavericks' end. Senden giving chase, but good play there by Koski to keep it away. This power play brought to you by Independence Utilities. Here's Koski scampering through center ice, knocked away by Bobo Carpenter. Loose puck now to Moberg, and they'll wedge it off the boards. Loose puck here, look out, could be a chance for Carpenter. Carpenter right circle a shot, put it well wide. Everblades did have a short-handed goal last night that came from Oliver Chow. Here's Jeremy McKenna, back in, walks to the near circle, hands it off down low. Curry to the far side, spins back in deep. Curry trying to get out in front. He put it right through the blue paint. Cade Borchard now corrals it. Borchard, fan on the shot, trying to get it back, and it's cleared down the ice by Moberg.
Really nice power move by Patrick Curry. He's making his presence felt in this game one way or another. He's got that physical edge, and you can see the talent on display there to create that scoring chance for himself.
Great to see Ryan Jones back out there as he'll quarterback this second unit. Here's Nolan Walker to give chase. He's rocked to the ice there by Ewens, who clears it 200 feet for Florida. 45 seconds ago on the Mavericks PK, on the Mavericks power play, 1:45 to go here in the second period. Mavericks up 3-1 here in game 2. Joe Benson, Sean Carrier, thrilled you could be with us here tonight. An incredibly entertaining game here inside the Cable Dome Arena. Walker hands it off down low. Cotton delays, serves it back for Nolan Walker. Bumps it up top for Jaremko. Straight away for Jones, a one-timer. That one ricocheted wide. Sandbrook looking to hunt down a loose puck. Kept alive by Max Andreev. Cotton out in front. He's got Jaremko. It was just a tab behind him. Cotton back up with a shot. Glove save Johnson. He'll keep it moving. And Ewens will launch one all the way down the ice. Mavericks power play about to come to an end here in 5 seconds. They've had some good looks. And so the Mavericks 3 for 6 on the power play here tonight. Not too shabby. Under a minute to go now in the second period. Here's McLaughlin starting through center ice. They'll roll one back behind the Florida net. Zmolik crunched there by Schoombert up the far side. Brar out of the box, coughs it up. Hayhurst, a tight turn. Hands it off. Duquette, skate to stick, back out wide. Hayhurst walks in. Hayhurst a power move. Then he put it right through the blue paint. Tremendous effort by Hayhurst there to create that opportunity. Loose puck behind the net. Out in front, Knockbar couldn't pull the trigger. Schoombert to a loose puck. Back on top, Duquette, a shot blocked over the net. Johnson had no idea where that was. And it's deflected out back to the KC line by Lambden with 15 to go here in the second period. A good follow-up shift there from the Mavericks after that power play. Here's Berzola. He'll dish it across for Zmolik. Rockets went out to center ice, deflected in by Skirving, and the horn will sound to end period number 2. And the Mavericks with a 3-1 lead here after 40 minutes. A tremendous period there. They get 2 more power play goals. And when leading in the playoffs after 40 minutes, the Mavericks 9-1. The Everblades, when trailing after 2, are 0-4 here in the playoffs. And some more jawing going on between the two benches here as they head off for second intermission.
Yeah, really solid game right now out of the Mavericks. They're capitalizing in a lot of areas right now. We're going to have a player interview in just a second here, but you really just got to take a second to applaud the power play efforts here of the Mavericks. 3 for 6 in this game, keeping their composure and making it count when they need to.
We're going to send it down to Mallory here in just a second. Mavericks with a 3-1 lead. Everblades out shooting the Mavericks 24-14 to this point. And that power play, an absolute weapon here for the Mavericks in this game here tonight. Let's send it down to Mallory right now at ice level.
Cole, 2 assists on your birthday tonight. How happy are you with how you guys have answered back?
Yeah, I think the whole team's going, so yeah, definitely happy.
And how much energy is this amazing crowd tonight providing you guys?
There's nothing like it. Definitely helps us on the forward check and the back check, so love it.
All right, Cole, thank you so much, and good luck in the third.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mallory. That was Mavericks forward Cole Koski, who's got a pair of assists here tonight. Assist on McKenna's goal back in the first period, and Hayer's goal there in the second. Mavericks with a 3-1 lead here after 2. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these words. You're watching Mavericks hockey on KCTV.
Yeah, I think it's very special. All year we've talked about building strength through adversity, sharpening our sword, and for a team that was predicted not to make the playoffs, I think that we've shut up a lot of naysayers. We've had a tough road, but we haven't backed down, and that's what I appreciate about these men. We don't back down. We understand that we're sharpening our sword, and you want to be battle tested. If you want to win a championship, you're going to play good teams, and that's going to make you better. And so I respect that about these men.
Come with all sorts of problems, and most people don't know what to do. That's what we're here for.
I was driving down the highway and a car just shot across traffic, and I hit the rear end of their bumper and I drove right into a ditch. It was his catchy slogan that really got our attention with Mike's Got This. I was very satisfied with my settlement, and all I had to focus on was getting better. Mike's definitely got this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, my team and I, we've got this.
And welcome back. Second intermission. Mavericks with a 3-1 lead over the Florida Everblades here after 40 minutes. They've gotten goals from Jeremy McKenna, Max Andreev, and Jacob Hayers all on the power play, Sean.
Yeah, done a phenomenal job working the puck around into different areas where they can capitalize on their opportunities. And you really have to get a high danger chance to beat Cam Johnson right now, just with the level that he's playing at. The Mavericks have really gotten that boost from their special teams in that area to make that happen. So good on them. You were worried that they were maybe going stale, despite having some good opportunities yesterday. Went 0 for 5, and so it's just great to see those guys humming above 50% right now.
Mavericks with a 3-1 lead. Earlier today, we caught up with Mavericks goalie coach Rob Couturier.
All right, we're here with Mavericks goalie coach Rob Couturier. Rob, game 1 in the books. Obviously, you guys didn't get the result you were hoping for. What was the attitude amongst the guys in the locker room after the game last night?
Yeah, everyone knew that we didn't do what we needed to do. We weren't good enough, but sometimes you lose the battle to fight the war, So the sun rises tomorrow, and that was the attitude. So get back at it.
A lot of skill on this Florida team. Not a lot Cale Morris could do on a lot of those opportunities. On the bright side, we know how well he's responded to adversity all year long.
Yeah, he's a mentally tough character. He's a pro's pro. By the time I talked to him after the game last night, he had already kind of evaluated his play and moved on and gets ready for the next one. And we've seen that from all of our goalies before, and that's what you have to do.
Just talk about the decision to put Jack LaFontaine in there at the start of the third period.
Well, we need to change something. Stop the bleeding, set the tone for tonight. That was the big thing.
Absolutely. A lot of skill, like we mentioned, on this Florida team. Is there anything they do differently compared to other teams you guys have seen this year?
they take away time and space as good as any team we've seen. You know, they're very physical. They finish all their checks. So we're going to have to find ways to execute our game plan. They really threw us off our game plan last night, and you know, that's on us as well. So, but they're a very good team, and we knew that. You know, so it's going to be a battle.
It's not like you guys were without chances. 35 shots in the game. You had a pretty good third period as well. Obviously, you got a pretty good goaltender there at the other end in Cam Johnson. What do you guys look to do to maybe make life more difficult for him here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we generated quantity for sure, but I don't think we generated quality. You know, we had a couple of good looks. We put pucks into his pads and into his belly, and you know, every goalie at this level is going to stop those. I think we need to really get some traffic, get him moving, elevate some pucks, and you know, really do what we do best.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Joe.
There's no shortage of support when you need it. We celebrate unique milestones. We forge special bonds and encourage each other. We're always ready to jump in and help and let people know how much we appreciate them.
It takes someone special to be a nurse. If this sounds like you, join us
by visiting showupfornurses.com.
Hey guys, it's Isaiah from Shields, and it's springtime, and what that means is it's grilling season. If you want to swing on in, we have everything that you could possibly need. We have sauces, we have seasonings, we have everything from grills, smokers, pizza ovens, griddles, all the good stuff. Just swing on into your local store or check us out online at shields.com. Stay hungry.
Ben, where are you this time?
I'm a little off the green.
Okay, here's what you're gonna do.
The best hockey team in Kansas City's history is 4 wins away from raising the Kelly Cup and bringing another trophy home to Kansas City. Mavericks fans, you do not want to miss a second of this historic season and historic series. Get your tickets now at kcmavericks.com/tickets.
Welcome back inside Cable Dome Arena. Joe Benson, Sean Carrier here with you. Mavericks with a 3-1 lead over the Florida Everblades. It's been an incredibly entertaining game here tonight. You heard there from Mavericks goalie coach right before the break, Rob Couturier, talking about just settling in with their emotions here tonight after that tough loss last night, and they've certainly come out with a better effort here tonight. They've made Cam Johnson's life a lot more difficult as well, Sean.
Yeah, they've done a phenomenal job of just creating quality scoring opportunities for themselves all over the ice. And like you mentioned, they've gotten a nice number of deflections, couple shots from in tight that haven't gone in as well. So that's what you're hoping to see. Once you can make him uncomfortable in that crease, you can start to open things up. That's exactly what we're seeing here.
Patrick Curry also caught up with the media earlier this week.
Champions of the Western Conference, headed into Game 1 of the Kelly Cup final on Friday. Just how heck of a year has it been for you guys, and how excited are you for Friday?
Yeah, obviously it's been a very fun ride. You know, you think back a little bit. Obviously we still got some work to do, but you think back and a lot of great moments this season. Just a great group of guys that are sacrificing for each other, and looking forward to being able to finish it out.
For you, just the success of this team, getting through the first series pretty easily, and the second series against a very good team in Idaho very easily, and then finishing up Toledo despite starting 3 in a row. What's been the key to success for you guys throughout this playoff?
Yeah, I mean, I think mainly comes down to playing our own game, you know, not kind of playing to our opponent. Obviously, each series is a little different, different elements. The teams bring different elements, so maybe, you know, a weakness one series is a strength for you the next. So just adapting, you know, also just not looking too far ahead. Obviously, just taking it game by game, you know, not thinking about, you know, when we're going to finish this series. just focusing on being in the moment.
Being a forward, 7 goals had to be pretty pleasing in the last game, but just, talk about how you carry that momentum, not only the 7 goals in that game, but just the success of scoring that you've had throughout the season into where it counts most in the championship.
Yeah, well, obviously it's any night to score 7 goals. A lot of guys, for me personally too, when you're scoring goals, you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling confident, so it's good to see that, we can put up 7. Guys are feeling confident in their abilities, in close on goaltenders or whatever it may be, gelling with their line mates. So, yeah, I think that's just the main thing that we would carry out of it is confidence.
Still got a couple of days until Friday night. How do you guys stay focused and keyed in on what comes next?
Yeah, it started with practice here today, just making sure our compete level's high. Making sure that guys are taking care of their bodies, taking care of bumps and bruises, just doing the little things, getting the little things taken care of before we start up.
A team like Florida, a lot of guys have familiarity with, the coach has familiarity with Florida. What are the challenges they present, and just talk to just the familiarity with each other as both programs here?
I think some of our guys actually won a championship there a few years ago. Obviously Tad, lives there in the summers, and he was a part of that organization at one point. It's, obviously there's some friendly faces that you see, but it's, obviously it's a battle. We both want the same thing, so that stuff kind of goes out the window when the series starts.
Home ice for the first 2, how important is that to get off to a good advantage, and how important has home ice been throughout the playoffs for you guys this season?
Yeah, it's great. If things aren't necessarily going your way, you can get a little bit boost from the crowd, or say you're down 1 goal, all you need to do is, put one in, get the crowd on your side, and feel like it's a little bit more of a wave coming. So, we use our fans as best we can, and they've been great for us, so we're looking forward to filling this place up.
What do you think it'll mean for those fans to be here for the Kelly Cup Finals?
Yeah, obviously it's the first time in team history, so it's going to be something to see. I'm sure there's tons of fans out there who've been coming to watch Kansas City play for several years, so it's got to be a cool feeling for them, and it's a cool feeling for us, and we're gonna try to take care of it on home ice.
Have you been in a championship series before?
Yeah, once.
How is that? Anything you can lean on from that experience into this?
Just kind of seize the moment. Don't get too high or too low with the momentum. It's very emotional. You feel like everything's kind of coming down to the wire. Just try to stay, level-headed and never get too high or too low.
Was that college?
No, I played there with Toledo, actually.
Okay.
2022.
So just in general, you got a lot of guys who are championship pedigree. How much is that going to help you in this series?
Yeah, it's great having leaders who have won. We have a lot of guys who, whether it was college hockey or major junior, were captains. So we have a lot of guys with leadership qualities in the room who, when things get tough, and maybe some guys who are rookies are, feeling the pressure a little bit. You got guys who have been there before who can, help you out and kind of show the path.
And that pirate mentality that Tad's always talking about.
Yeah, we'll keep that buzzing, but it's good.
Patrick, you've just had such an unbelievable year on the ice, 80-plus points in the regular season. You've kept it rolling for most of this postseason as well. Just what would it mean to you to get that last accomplishment and raise that Kelly Cup?
Yeah, it's more just, finishing the job with the group of guys. You've been seeing these guys day to day for however many months, so it's been a long time. So just, embracing the journey, and we're trying to finish it the right way for one another. You'd much rather end with, seeing the guys that you've battled with all year with a smile on their face rather than being upset. So, yeah.
What's that camaraderie like on and off the ice for this team?
It's great. Everybody gets along with everybody. Hanging out away from the rink, getting lunches, playing rounds of golf, whatever it may be. A lot of laughs. I got inside jokes with just about everybody in there now. So it's been great, and it only gets better the further you go, and the more sacrifices that guys are making. It makes it deeper feeling.
Is that a big part of this too, to kind of keep going? It's been a long season. You're probably all tired at this point, but excited. Just be having each other to lean on. Is that a huge part of your success, you think?
Yeah, I think guys are just as excited to come to the rink as ever. Obviously, mentally it's draining, and it's physically draining on your body. But you see other guys losing it. Like McKenna loses a few teeth the other day, and he's out here practicing for the day. It doesn't matter. I had stitches in my mouth. Guys getting bumps and bruises. So. It's just, you almost feel galvanized by it, when you beat a team in a long series like Toledo, great team, it brings you together a little more.
Typical hockey guy, huh? Teeth out, jaw wired, and just bowing out the next day like it's nothing, huh?
That's part of it. Oh yeah, we love it.
At Big O Tires, we do things differently for a lot of reasons. And one is to get you the best deal possible. Handling the cost of car repairs can be a challenge, but we're here to help. Our no credit needed financing or 0% interest also come with exclusive benefits, so you can get back on the road. Financing, it's one more reason. Big O is the team you trust.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need. With over 60 providers and 8 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
The letter K. It's a big part of what makes Kansas City great. It helps make the Kansas City Zoo roar. It's a home run for the Royals at the K. The Kansas City Chiefs won some big football games with it. You can't say Rock Chalk Jayhawk without it. And according to my son Wyatt, it's a big part of my name as well.
Luke is a K.
Welcome, Luke with a K. First Warn 5 Chief Meteorologist Luke Doris. Only on KCTV5.
Yeah, it's great. If things aren't necessarily going your way, you can get a little bit boost from the crowd, or say you're down 1 goal, all you need to do is put one in, get the crowd on your side, and feel like it's a little bit more of a wave coming. So we use our fans as best we can, and they've been great for us. So we're looking forward to filling this place up. Obviously it's the first time in team history, so yeah, it's going to be something to see. It's got to be a cool feeling for them, and it's a cool feeling for us, and we're going to try to take care of it on home ice.
Welcome back inside the Cable Dome Arena. Before we get set for third period action, we'll take a quick peek at our affiliate report with our Coachella Valley Firebirds of the American Hockey League. They're playing in the Western Conference Final against the Milwaukee Admirals after taking Game 1 on Wednesday. They doubled their lead in the series with a 3-1 win at home. They're now up 2-0 against the Admirals in the best-of-7 series. 3 different goal scorers in the game. Chris Dreger, another great night in net, 31 for 32 on the shots against them. They'll hit the road for the next 3 games of the series up in Milwaukee, with that being on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday before returning home if need be. And we'll get set for third period action here now.
And how about that? The Firebirds, like you mentioned, Sean, 2-0 lead in the series. Hershey also won the other night, Game 2 against Cleveland tonight, and tracking towards that Calder Cup rematch.
Yeah, it was an exciting finale last year. The Firebirds coming just 1 goal away in Game 7 from winning that Calder Trophy in their inaugural season, and hoping to see them have some better luck this year.
Getting you set for period number 3. Mavericks with a 3-1 lead over the Florida Everblades. We'll start 5-a-side, surprisingly, given the amount of feistiness we've seen here tonight through the first 40 minutes. We've seen 22 combined penalty minutes in the game. Mavericks absolutely tremendous, 3 for 6 on the power play. They'll go from left to right here in this third period. It'll be the Curry-Walker-Borchard line to start things out for KC up front. Jones and Konepke on the back end. Here's Carpenter attacking back in left wing. Pushed off the puck there by Nolan Walker. Loose puck in the corner. Sendin. Bumped there by Konepke. Rattles to the far side. Ryan Jones had his helmet stripped away by Bobo Carpenter. Now here's Curry out through center ice. Cade Borchard trying to find a handle. Was played back over by Lansdell. Filtered up to center ice. Lansdell jolted there by Marc-Olivier Duquette. And now the puck rolled back behind the Florida net. Here's Moberg. And now Wedman chugging through center ice. Wedman racing down the slot. Couldn't get past Duquette. Duquette swings it up the near side. David Cotton trying to find a handle. Mavericks have to tag up on the delayed offside. Minute gone here in period number 3. Everblades have not won a game in the playoffs when trailing after 40 minutes. Mavericks trying to become the first team to beat Florida in the playoffs when allowing the first goal. Here's McLaughlin out behind the net. Loose puck out in front. Lambden delays. Hands it off. Ewens on a cross. Riley, a shot, caught the near corner boards. Whipped back towards the net. Loose puck out in front. Pinballs and round. And it's sent out of play. Launched over the glass there by Matt Wedman after a little bit of a scramble in front of Jack LaFontaine.
Yeah, this thing, like you just mentioned, pinballs right in front of him, and he does a nice job of tracking the puck with his eyes. His body just gets a little out of position, and it's a tough angle shot. Jack LaFontaine closes off that near side post with his leg, and it's shot up and out of play. So nice play by him to do just enough to make sure that that stayed out of the back of the net and really not allow a good shooting lane there.
We just heard from Sean about the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Jack LaFontaine was 2-0 with them this year. A 2.30 goals against, .919 save percentage. Not too shabby up in the AHL. So straight back to center ice by David Noel. Jeremy McKenna, Max Andreev, Jacob Hayhurst, the goal scorers for the Mavericks here tonight. 3 unanswered for them after Zach Berzola opened the scoring for Florida just 90 seconds into the opening frame. Here's McKenna gliding back in, a shot blocked away to the near boards. Jacob Hayhurst fed it back to the blue line. Calvis, good job there to tie up Oliver Chow. Here's David Noel on across now for Max Andreev. Angles it for Jacob Hayhurst in on the left wing. Hayhurst wrestled to the ice there by Jordan Sambrook. Sambrook will slide it across the neutral zone. Now picked up right by Ryan Jones back inside his own end. Ryan Jones with 6 points in the playoffs, second among all Mavericks defensemen in points. He's second in the ECHL as a plus 15. Here's Hosang. He'll pass right wing out of the reach of Skirving. Konapke back behind his own net. Jones looking to peel away through center. Here's Patrick Curry now. He'll loft one high to the near corner. Cade Borcher giving chase. Smolek up the near side. Here's Josh Hosang from the blue line. Drills it up the left wing. Skirving dealt one back behind the Maverick net after taking a good crunch there from Duquette. Borchard works it back down low. Duquette out in front. Now Borchard will move it laterally for Patrick Curry. Curry with McLaughlin on his left. Hands it to him. McLaughlin from the corner. And that one caught the near side glass. Brar on a cross, picked off. Here's McLaughlin. Saucer pass down low, too far for Curry. Now off the skate of Curry, and the Everblades will clear back to center. Just over 3 minutes played here in the third period. Everblades looking to go to work here. Ewens winds up. He'll tap it softly back down to the corner. Schoonberg looking to dig it free. Swept back down low by Carpenter, out of the reach of Sendin. LaFontaine came out to play it, nearly had it stripped. Here's Lansdale. He'll jab it back to the blue line. Picked off, though, by Max Andreev. Andreev, who has the go-ahead goal, the difference maker. That came back in the second period. Andreev drilled there by Ewens. And now Zach Berzola will wheel from out of his own end. Lofts it back. Glove down there by David Noel right inside the KC line. Schoombert able to pitch it back out. Wholesale changes here for both teams. Just over 4 minutes played in the second period. Mavericks looking to bounce back after that 8-1 loss last night. A much better outing from them here tonight in Game 2. Florida came into last night averaging just under 3 goals scored per game. They exploded for 8 last night, which is the most they've scored all year long. They scored 7 during the regular season, which they did just once. Middle of the pack team offensively at 17th during the regular season. This one's drilled back in. Ryan Jones now in the near corner, defended there by Oliver Chow. David Cotton from in front of his own net. Floats it for Kolkoski. He'll ladle it softly back inside the Florida end. Florida's 8 goals last night. That was the most in a finals game since the Charlotte Checkers did it back in 1996, back when they were part of the ECHL. They're now the Everblades AHL affiliate team. Here's Cade Borchard, had it sticked away at the offensive blue line, and the Everblades will corral. Here's Smolek from his own end. Dish it up the right wing. Charging in there was Lambden, sticked away by Curry. Here's Walker back up ice. Walker cruising through center ice to the left circle. Walker, a shot, and that one caught the glass. Good poise there
from Nolan Walker to create the opportunity. Here's Hosang. Hosang button hooks away from Walker, still with it. Hosang dangles down low, out in front, and a big save there by that right pad of Jack LaFontaine. Mavericks able to clear it. Will Riley, he'll rotate it back for Cole Moberg. Take its first stroll back behind his own net, flushed out by Borchard. Moberg through the logo. He'll gun this one back around the near side. Sendin waiting for it. Pass to Flex to the far boards. Carpenter, second star of the game last night with 2 goals and an assist for Florida. Andreev trying to fend off the pressure behind his own net. Now loose puck to Theo Calvis. Taps to the far wing. Held in there by Berzola. Back around the roulette wheel near side. McKenna couldn't clear. Let's go Mavericks, the chant here from the home faithful. McKenna back up with it. And he'll clear it up the far wing and back to the Florida line. 13.5 to go here in regulation. Mavericks trying to tie this best-of-7 series at 1 apiece. It'll shift to Estero, Florida for games 3, 4, and 5 starting on Wednesday. Knifing in Berzola. And a good diving play there by Nate Konepke. Here's Koski. Back up ice. Koski able to step past Pendenza. Taken down, but no call. Dremko back for Koski in front, and that one deflected up over the crossbar, and it almost caromed back out towards the blue paint. And now Oliver Chow dashing through center ice, pestered every inch of the way by Koski. Chow pulls up far boards, rolls it back in deep, cut off there by Konepke. Chow back up with it for Florida. Crunch in the corner by Knockbar. Low to high for Sambrook. Floats it across. Here's Ewens at the left point. Ewens intentionally wide. Taken there behind the net by Jostling, trying to get top side, back to the line, and that one sliced up over the net by Jordan Sambrook. Good zone time here for the Everblades. Sambrook, another drive, that one blocked down by Ryan Jones, and he'll clear it up the far glass and all the way back down towards Johnson's net, but just wide, so that will be icing here on the Mavericks with 12:25 to go in regulation.
Feels like this has been essentially non-stop play. Much to the difference of the second period, we saw about 4 or 5 whistles in the first 2 or 3 minutes of that period. I think we're just at one or two whistles so far to start off this third period. So you see some tired legs out there for both groups. Mavericks coming off of an icing, really important face-off coming up here for David Cotton.
Cotton, who's been a force here in the playoffs for the Mavericks, helped set up that goal from Max Andrea back in the second period. Here's a shot kicked away to the corner by Jack LaFontaine with some traffic out in front provided by Matt Wedman. And it's scraped back in the zone by Moberg. The Everblades are offside here with 12:12 to go in regulation.
Physicality still an important part of this game. We'll see it inevitably continue when we come back. You're watching Mavericks hockey on KCTV.
We're proud to call Kansas City home. Like everyone here, we know we've got the best barbecue. But we're also pretty good at pasta, tacos, and even beer. We love our sports. We love our city. And we love supporting each other. There's a lot to love about Kansas City. And at Price Chopper, we love serving you. Thank you, Kansas City, for always having a place for us at your table.
Welcome back. 12:12 to go here in the third period. Sean Carrier, Joe Benson here with you. Be sure to follow the Mavericks when they hit the road and head down to Southwest Florida this week. You can listen live on the Mavericks mobile app or tune in on Flow Sports. Mavericks up 3-1 here over the Everblades. Approaching 8 minutes gone here in this third period. One shot into the near corner. Duquette hampered there by Wedman. Now Andreev flings it up the far glass. Not out. The trigger pull failed. There from Moberg. Here's Hayhurst on the move. Hands it back off for McKenna. Fan on the shot, but he's got it back. McKenna looking. Hands it off now to Jacob Hayhurst. Towards the net. Loose puck. Corralled now by Andreev in the corner. Sweeps it back up top. Duquette. He'll shovel it back down the boards. Cut off there by Moberg, and he'll exit the zone. Lambton now at the red line. Stood up by Duquette. And the Quebec native will play it back across for Jake McLaughlin. Outlet pass on the money for Jacob Hayhurst. He's got the third Mavericks tally here tonight. He'll scoop it back into the Florida end. Fresh legs on the ice here for the Mavericks, who are the third straight team to win the Brabham Cup and advance to the Kelly Cup finals. It was the Steelheads who did it last year and the Walleye the year before. Here's a shot right on save LaFontaine. From behind his own net, Jake Jaremko couldn't get it to Schoombert. Now loose puck far boards Mavericks end. Noel up towards the blue line, not out. LaFontaine coming out to play it. Now Calvis will bank it around the cage. Past Noel, Knockbar waiting to the line, but not out. Held in there by Riley. Flips it back towards the front. Glove down by Calvis. And this one's banked all the way down ice. This will be icing on the Mavericks. 10:44 to go.
Yeah, that pass that just missed just barely. Almost sprung the Mavericks on a 2-on-1 opportunity going up ice. But it's been a fairly calm offensive period here for the Mavericks so far. They're happy to just let this clock continue to dwindle down, holding on to that 2-goal lead. They're going to hopefully see it hit zeros here pretty soon.
Like we mentioned, Mavericks getting ready to hit the road for Game 3. They're 7-1 on the road in the playoffs. They set a new ECHL record, of course, this year during the regular season. 29 road wins. Just absolutely incredible work from the Mavericks away from the Cable Dahmer this year. Here's a shot that ricocheted just wide. Hit a couple bodies in front. Here's Jake Jaremko now. He'll push it up ahead to Justin Knockbar. And now back to the Florida line. Let's go Mavericks, the chant here once again inside Cable Dahmer Arena. Game 2 of the Kelly Cup Finals. Here's Ewens gliding back in, out wide to Chow. Chow down into the corners, put it right through the top of the crease. Activating now is Smolek. Takes it around the near corner. Crisscrossing with Chow. Loose puck now to Nolan Walker. He'll stash off the glass to a streaking Cade Borchard with Curry joining the rush. Borchard across. And a good back check there by Jostling. Jostling will weave his way back towards center ice, but a good steal by Borchard. Back in with Walker. Borchard looking across and a great stick. Now loose puck to Curry, a shot. Loose puck in the crease. Capped out somehow by Cam Johnson with some help from a couple Florida defenders.
First off, what a phenomenal play by Cade Borchard to make the steal inside the zone to start this chance. He's not able to find Walker on the 2-on-1. Curry follows up. His shot beats Johnson. It gets a little piece of him, and as it's trickling through the blue paint towards the net, Cam Johnson is able to recollect himself and make that save. The best chance of that period. We'll hope to see more right after this.
From a world of darkness, we became a nation of light. A nation powered by electricity. A nation powered here in Kansas City by IBEW Local 124. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 124, powering Kansas City.
Headquartered in Kansas City, Lockton is a proud pillar partner of the KC Mavericks. Lockton is the world's largest independent insurance brokerage, providing customized solutions to meet your organization's insurance, risk management, and employee benefits needs. Lockton is dedicated to serving their clients, associates, and communities. 9:42 to go here in regulation. Mavericks with a 3-1 lead, and showing their best chance there the third period, maybe of the game there on that last sequence from Patrick Curry.
Yeah, really phenomenal job by Cade Borchard to really spring that chance. And Patrick Curry just feels a little snake bitten here. He's been all over the ice. He's been doing the dirty work and just hasn't been able to capitalize offensively. And, you know, despite getting those great chances, and they're inevitably going to start falling for him soon. He's too good of a hockey player to be kept off of the score sheet for too long.
McKenna fan on the shot. Now Lambden. They'll sweep it rink wide. Golf back in by Nate Konepke. Patrick Curry, one of 3 players on this Mavericks roster to appear in a Kelly Cup final before this year. He was part of that Toledo Walleye team that lost to this Florida team 2 years ago, and opposing him in that series was Jake Jeremko and Jake McLaughlin, the only 2 players on the Mavericks roster with Kelly Cup rings and their names engraved on the sacred Kelly Cup piece of hardware that the Mavericks are looking to secure this year. They've racked up the Brabham Cup, the Bruce Taylor Trophy, and just one sacred hardware left to collect for them. Swept up the far side now by Duquette. Could be a 2-on-1. Here's Cotton up ice with Jeremko. Jeremko left circle out in front, and Cotton denied there by the pad of Johnson. Kind of turned into a broken play there at the tail end, but nonetheless a good rush up ice by Cotton and Jeremko. Battle for it now along the near side of the Florida end. Skate to stick there for Lambden. Outlet pass now. Josh Hosang twirling at the center circle. Guns it in down the far side. Riley all the way below the Mavericks goal line. McLaughlin behind the net. Loose puck out in front, and a big save on Skirving by LaFontaine. Point blank.
What a phenomenal save here by Jack LaFontaine. The pass from McLaughlin just kind of hops on him as he tries to make it to his partner, Marc-Olivier Duquette, behind the net. It allows the Everblades to go get this puck, get the scoring opportunity. Jack LaFontaine, despite some of the successes of these Mavericks forwards here tonight, it's looking like once again he's the best player for the Mavericks.
LaFontaine just a little over 8 minutes away from his 7th win of the playoffs. He's won 10 of his last 12 coming into the game here tonight. Had a shutout in his Mavericks debut back in October. Here's a shot, and that one pinballs off the strings of the net with all kinds of traffic in front. Borchard lofts it out to center ice. On the move, Patrick Curry with Walker trailing him. A spinorama shot right on from Curry, and a blocker save made by Cam Johnson. Let's go Mavericks, the emphatic chant once again. The Orange Army hungry for a win in a tied series. Ewens lugs it back in left circle, trying to power out in front, and it's knocked out of harm's way by Jones. Back towards the net, and LaFontaine able to get a pad on it. He gets another blocker saved. My goodness, ring 10 bells on both of those stops from Jack LaFontaine.
Unbelievable, Joe. He takes the contact as the Everblades ice this puck. And while he's still trying to get up, he makes 2 saves. He makes 2 saves while he's down on his stomach trying to get back up. Unbelievable job from Jack LaFontaine to hold this 2-goal lead.
Listen to this crowd, the roaring ovation for Jack LaFontaine. And I'm not sure if that had gone in, Sean, if there would have been any review there on a potential goalie interference. You mentioned the contact, but nonetheless, Jack LaFontaine, that second one, able to somehow get that blocker out. The first one was pretty special as well, getting that pad up as he was down on his stomach. And now here come the Mavericks. Hayhurst in all alone, and he put it high and wide. He was up ice with McKenna. Here's McLaughlin a blast, and that one waffle boarded out of play by Cam Johnson.
Oh, man. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. This is Jack LaFontaine making some of the best saves we've seen inside this arena all year, and then Jacob Hayhurst on a breakaway. And he just misses high and wide on Cam Johnson, but what excitement we're seeing in this game, too, here from the Mavericks.
Incredible entertainment factor here tonight. Mavericks up 3-1 with 6:58 to go in regulation. Against the 2-time defending Kelly Cup champion Florida Everblades. This one's all the way down. This will be icing on Florida. It's Florida's 7th appearance in the Kelly Cup final, most in ECHL history. Cam Johnson, Kyle Neuber, who's scratched tonight for Florida, and Joe Pendenza, the only 3 players on the Florida roster who were part of both the 2022 and 2023 Kelly Cup winning teams. Florida tied for the lead in ECHL history. 3 Kelly Cup wins along with the Alaska Aces, South Carolina Stingrays, and Hampton Roads Admirals. Whistle here with 6:42 to play in the third.
You know, something that I think is going to the benefit of this Mavericks team right now is there haven't been any penalties this period. There's just been sustained 5-on-5 play, and normally when we see that happen over a 20-minute stretch, it's the Mavericks' depth that gives them the edge over teams every single time. So, you know, in a game or in a period where they haven't had to rely on their power plays or their penalty kills to really break up their momentum or be a game changer for them, they've really just been doing a nice job generating chances. And, you know, Jack LaFontaine has done a nice job as well holding this 2-goal lead.
Shots are 7-5 for Florida here in the third period. 31-19 for the Everblades in the game. Rimmed up the near side. Lansdell able to hand it off. Here's Wedman through center ice. Josh Hosang pulls up. Defended there by David Cotton. He'll force it back out. Hosang will win the race to the puck. Forced back deeper by David Cotton. Josh Hosang, who made his return to pro hockey here this past spring with the Everblades. Played 53 games with the New York Islanders. A few years back, offside here on Florida. Then Hosang kind of floated between the Islanders and the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, what used to be the Islanders AHL affiliate, now the Bridgeport Islanders. Kind of an interesting journey there for the former NHL forward. Played in Sweden in 2020, the Toronto Marlies in the AHL during the 21-22 season, and then played a handful of games in the KHL in Russia last year, and then finally making his return to American pro hockey here this year.
Yeah, not too often do you see a first-round pick like that playing in the ECHL, and for this Mavericks team, that's one of those guys that they have to eliminate defensively because he's certainly had a wealth of experience in pro hockey in North America, and the Mavericks have done a nice job overall of really covering him off and not letting him be an X-factor in this series so far.
Inside 6 minutes to go here in regulation, Mavericks with a 2-goal lead. Lansdell drills it back behind the net, through the stick of LaFontaine, lost his stick on the play. Second time that's happened here tonight, and Hayers will play it back behind his own net. Swept to the far side, McKenna able to jump on a loose puck, and he'll carry it and then swing it rink wide off the skid of Jacob Hayers. LaFontaine getting his stick back from Max Andreev. Jake McLaughlin will skitter it back inside the Florida line. Here's sending across center ice to the attacking line. Jostling, he'll funnel it back behind the Maverick net. LaFontaine high up the far glass, not out, sealed off by Chow, hands it off Riley, out in front, and a great diving play there by Jake McLaughlin. Here's Curry in transition, in flight down the right wing, giving chase in behind the net. Curry wheeling to the far circle. He'll cycle it back down low, gets it perfectly right onto the tape there, Nolan Walker. Taken away that quickly, though, by Will Riley. He'll stop up and fling it up the near side. Oliver Chow had it stripped there by Walker. Borger now to Curry, and it split the two defensemen, Calvis and Jones, out of the blue line. 4.5 to go here in regulation. LaFontaine will move it for Ryan Jones. And he'll just calmly settle it down behind his own net while the Mavericks look to execute a line change. Here's Schoombert. He'll scale across corner and give chase. Golfed up the near glass and back to the KC line where it's fielded by Nate Konepke. Leading the Mavericks defense core with 3 goals here in the playoffs. Schoombert. Headman pass deflected in by Justin Nockbar. 4 minutes to go. This one's lifted off the glass, not out. Good keep by Andreev momentarily, but now it knuckles back out to center ice. Wedman center circle. Scraped to the far corner by Lambden. Here's Konepke. Skate to stick. Pestered there by Lambden. Wedman a steal. Takes it down to the corner. Far side now, Hosang. Looking out towards the line. Cuts back in deep. Hosang trying to get top side. Spun one, but fanned on it. And Schoombert had it knifed away. And a good crunch there by Konepke on Hosang along the near corner boards. Hosang back to the line, and a great diving play by Bradley Schoombert to clear it. Schoombert back in the lineup here tonight, one of those guys that always brings energy. Here's a loose puck out in front, knocked out of harm's way. Another try by Lambden, save LaFontaine. It's loose, and the net comes falling down on top of him as he was able to cover it there with his 2 skates.
The Everblades trying to throw more than just the kitchen sink. They're throwing the net onto Jack LaFontaine to try to beat him. That's how good he's been tonight. As this one's just a mad scramble in front. You see Marc-Olivier Duquette trying to push this puck in between the legs of Jack LaFontaine, who had gone onto his backside. Might have been a little bit of contact there. But then it looks like Hosang, who makes contact with the net, pushing it on to LaFontaine. 3:11 remaining in the game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Our players feed off the fans' energy. They've been phenomenal all season. We absolutely love playing in front of these people. And the one thing I would say to the people that were here Monday, those are, our Kansas City Maverick diehards. And so it's even more special to win in front of them and for them to see it. I'll tell you what, we really appreciate the Kansas City Mavericks faithful, and they came out strong, and it'll be a great Friday and Saturday night with them here.
Welcome back. 3:11 to go here. Final push in this third period. Mavericks with a 3-1 lead over the Florida Everblades here in game 2. And Sean, one of the stories here this third period, the man in between the pipes there for the Mavericks, Jack LaFontaine.
Yeah, he's doing an unbelievable job keeping the puck out of the net. He's been fighting. He's been battling. They've been throwing some contact his way, and just nothing is getting to him right now. Gave up that early goal in the first period. Has been completely locked down coming out of this timeout here. Florida Everblades sending 6 skaters into the draw here. Cam Johnson taking a rest on the bench as it'll be a last-ditch comeback effort here for the Everblades.
And so the Mavericks a chance to virtually put the game away here. Empty net for Florida. 6 attackers on. 3:11 to go. Jostling sets it up to the back. Now Riley hammers one wide. Chow out of the far corner. Chow back to the blue line. Ewens rotates it back for Chow. Ewens straight away along Rister, blocked up over the net. Good stick there by David Cotton. McLaughlin up the far side, lost it to Wedman. Back to Ewens, down the boards now to Chow. Centering pass for Wedman, knocked away by Koski. Let's go Mavericks the chant here once again, under 3 minutes to play in regulation. Jaremko with it. He'll shoot it all the way down the ice, and it slides just wide. Could have been nearly a 200-foot shot there from Jake Jaremko into the open net.
It's important to remember, icings here, you don't get to make a line change. So every time you miss the net from below the red line, the center ice line, you're not allowed to get your fresh bodies out onto the ice. See a couple guys hunched over there, but some really nice defensive play inside the zone to limit the chances for the Everblades with the extra attacker out there for Florida.
2:36 to go. Mavericks with a crucial face-off win there thanks to Jake Jaremko. And this one's wedged back inside the Florida end. Here's Jostling. Receives the outlet pass. Hands it off now to Hosang. High slot. Deals to the far side. Riley into the corner. Out in front. Picked up by Max Andreev. Lost a handle. Hosang now in the deep slot. Deeks to the near circle. Hosang out in front. And now rolls behind the net. Hosang stacked up there by McLaughlin. Out to Ewens. Now to Jostling. He peels back. Jostling near circle. Down low. Hosang centering pass. And a good stick by Andreev. Here comes Hayhurst. Slides it over Koski with an open net in front of him. He'll just stroll it towards the net. And he scores! Cole Koski on his 3rd point of the night. Virtually putting the game away here for the Mavericks as they take a 4-1 lead.
It's a phenomenal play by Max Andreev to limit the scoring chance, to allow this puck to pop up high into the zone. Jacob Hayhurst, he's got the wheels. He takes it to the neutral zone. He doesn't force it. He finds Cole Koski, who just has to skate it into the open net. And the Mavericks well on their way to tying this series at 1 win apiece.
1:50 to go now in regulation. The Mavericks with a comfortable 3-goal lead. And Schoonberg will clear this one all the way down ice. This will be icing on the Mavericks with a $1:38 to go on the clock. Kolkoski with the empty netter. It's his 5th of the playoffs. Comes at 18:05 from Jacob Hayhurst.
Cam Johnson once again back out on the bench, So 6 attackers out there for Florida. Just 1:39 remaining in this game. The Everblades have to find 3.
Berzola winds and drives, blocked away by Schoonberg. Berzola gets it back out in front to save LaFontaine. Kept alive here, Lambden. Looking to go to work here inside the blue line. Floats it across. Hacked back towards the net by Pendenza. Here's Berzola. Had his pass nearly picked off and a block there by Nolan Walker. And it's back out to center ice. Approaching a minute to go here in regulation. 34 shots on goal here for the Everblades. Just one has beat Jack LaFontaine. That came just 90 seconds into the game. 4 unanswered goals for the Mavericks. Could be 5. Here's Max Andreev. Takes a couple hacks. Andreev will put it into the empty net. And the Mavericks will take a 5-1 lead.
There's that extra one for good measure. You can hear this crowd just absolutely erupt. They've showed up for this team, and just a little bit of icing on the cake is the second empty netter goal. Just what a phenomenal game start to finish by this Mavericks group, earning this 5-1 lead here. Well on their way now. They're booking their plane tickets to Florida. They're ready to take on this team on the road already. In a game where everything went against them last night, they have battled back in a massive way in this game.
Second goal of the game for Max Andreev, his 5th of the playoffs. An empty net goal. Mavericks now up 5-1. Sent back towards the net. LaFontaine hurried back. Able to glove it and hang on. And then some jousting between David Cotton and Lansdale there along the far side of the ice.
See Tato had give the little tap to Justin Nockbar here to go out onto the ice. Any sort of physical play, any sort of feistiness that's going to happen for the remainder of this game is going to have to go through him.
Definitely the guy you want out there, like you mentioned, Sean. Nockbar led the ECHL in fights last year. He's had quite a handful this year as well. Won in the playoffs. And a broken stick. That was the piece of lumber for Jake Jaremko right off the face-off. Here's Ben Brar at center ice. He'll pitchfork one high back into the near corner. 25 to go. Out in front off the stick of LaFontaine. Back to Jordan Sambrook. Sambrook flings it towards the net. Save LaFontaine. He'll paddle it aside of the end boards. Jaremko now with 15. He'll steer up the far glass and back out. This will not have enough for icing. Listen to this crowd. The Orange Army coming to their feet. It's gunned all the way down the ice. One last save for good measure. And we got ourselves a 1-1 series. The Mavericks with an emphatic 5-1 win over the Florida Everblades here tonight to tie the series up at 1 before it shifts down to Florida for Game 3 on Wednesday.
What a great job by this team to battle back in a massive way. This was an important game. You can't risk going down 2-0 and have to play 3 straight games on the road. It was a phenomenal job off the backbone of Jack LaFontaine, making 35 out of 36 saves. Held this Florida team scoreless for about 55 minutes. And this crowd roaring their approval at this roster.
Mavericks with a 5-1 win here. LaFontaine absolutely spectacular, stopping 35 of the 36 shots he faced tonight en route to his 7th win of the playoffs. And it's his 11th win in his last 13 starts. Jack LaFontaine now with just 4 goals allowed in his last 4 starts. And just an all-around, Sean, tremendous Mavericks effort here tonight as we get ready to hear the 3 stars of the game. But what a win here tonight.
They needed to respond, and they did so in a very big way. Awesome vote of confidence from this team. Let's start taking a peek at who our 3 stars of this game are going to be. I have a feeling I know who one of them is going to be.
We'll await the presentation here, the 3 stars brought to you by Sheet Metal Workers. You got to think LaFontaine's going to be one of the top 3, Sean. A lot of other guys could go along with that. Guys with multi-point games, Cole Koski, Max Andreev, Jeremy McKenna. And your 3rd star is Cole Koski. Added an empty net goal there at the end, had a pair of assists. Another big game for him as he comes out to salute the home faithful. Koski's such an important returner this year on this Mavericks roster. Max Andreev, your 2nd star here tonight. He had 2 goals and an assist. He had the game winner back in the 2nd period. Coming on the power play. 5 unanswered goals here from the Mavericks tonight. En route to a 5-1 win. They let up that first goal 90 seconds in, but did not look back. And Jack LaFontaine, a big reason why he's your 1st star tonight. 35 saves for Jack LaFontaine. Aaron is standing by at ice level. And that was your 1st star, Jack LaFontaine. And Sean, absolutely tremendous performance from him here tonight. And it seems like we find ourselves saying that quite a bit here.
Yeah, just unbelievable job. Still have that flurry where he was pushed down and got thrown out of his position due to some contact, and he was still able to fight back and make a couple of saves and keep the puck out of the back of the net. He just had one of those games where you knew he was going to be a difference maker from pretty early on. He gets that early one that goes in against him and just shuts it down completely after that. By the end of that first period, he had allowed himself to settle into a rhythm, and you knew it was going to be tough going for this Everblade offense, and absolutely deserving of the top star tonight. And in a postseason where he has close to a .960 save percentage, it's hard for that to go up, and it just did. That's how good this guy is playing right now. Unreal effort out of him.
Tremendous performance from Jack LaFontaine, who picked up his 7th win of the playoffs. And yeah, you mentioned that early goal, Sean, and you had the concern that it was going to be maybe another game similar to how last night unfolded, with Florida kind of picking up right where they left off. But this Mavericks team responds. Jeremy McKenna gets the tying goal once again there on the power play at 10:09 of the first period, and the Mavericks just really never looked back. And how about the power play tonight, Sean? 3 for 6. a huge difference maker for them here tonight.
Yeah, it gave them that boost when they needed to. As good as this Mavericks team played, they did not score at 5-on-5 really at all throughout this game. They had 3 power play goals and 2 empty netters, so absolutely giving this Mavericks team the boost when they needed it. 3 for 6, did a tremendous job of moving the puck around the wall. They were just passing so crisp, and it wasn't really working out for them last night, and that was the biggest difference between last night and tonight, is just those little things were all going their way, and that's what happens when not really you're lucky, but necessarily when you're just not unlucky.
The physicality certainly a trend here once again tonight, Sean. Another feisty game. We saw some big hits dished out by both teams, and like we talked about at the top of the broadcast, seems like the Mavericks were able to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, they stayed out of the box. They did it responsibly. When they needed to, they stepped in, defended each other, defended their goaltender, and defended themselves, and that's exactly what you were hoping to see. They let Florida make all the mistakes against themselves, giving this Maverick team the ammo they needed to go out there and win this hockey game. Super job by everyone on this lineup of just battling hard, continuing to push that physical emphasis forward, and not costing your team at all throughout that process.
Mavericks with a 5-1 win here tonight in Game 2 to tie this best-of-7 series up at 1 game apiece. Our next broadcast will be Wednesday night, Game 3, as the Mavericks head down to Estero, Florida, to the Hertz Arena for Games 3, 4, and 5 of this best-of-7 Kelly Cup Finals matchup. For our entire production crew, for my partner Sean Carrier, Joe Benson saying good night, Mavs country, as the Mavericks defeat the Everblades in front of a crowd of 5,807 here tonight. We'll talk to you on Wednesday for Game 3.